it's a Friday indeed, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. It has been, for me at least, I want to speak for my compatriots here, it's been a very quick week. Got to Friday in a hurry, and I'm glad. I'm glad for that. I feel like this week has flown by. I thought we've had some really, really excellent shows this week. Major Garrett was in hanging out for a full show. We've had a good time, and today's going to be a great one, too. No question about it. So excited to be here on a Friday. You got a big, scary series coming up in Colorado. Shouldn't be, but it absolutely is. We will talk about that. Good to be here with my brothers, Paulie Reindl. Paulie is the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us. Well, good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning. We have made it to Friday.
We did. And how was everyone's night off of Padres baseball last night? I missed it, certainly, but it does allow me the opportunity to hate watch, which I enjoy. I enjoy hate watching. I enjoy hate watching about as much as I enjoy love watching. I really like to watch two teams I don't like playing each other. I love hate watching the Dodgers. I'll admit it right now. I love it. It's fantastic. Watching Yamamoto serve up a grand slam was almost as good as watching Manny hit a grand slam. I thought it was fantastic. I'm a generational hater, though. So.
You know, it's funny. I actually took a night off of sports watching last night.
Whoa.
I mean, I got home from work, and the NBA game wasn't all that entertaining with Steph Curry out. Yeah. And, you
like Steph Curry.
I do, but he's out, so I couldn't watch
You like
him.
a lot of things.
You like a lot of stuff.
Oh, I do. That's true. But, so we just sat down, threw on a cooking competition show on Netflix, and watched that for, about 90 minutes. Then I got tired, and that was about it. Went to bed. It was a quiet night at home.
I'm actually kind of blown away because I take a lot of nights off of sports. I do, and I'm a sports radio host. But I take a lot of nights off of sports. Not really baseball season, though. But there'll be times in the fall where I'm so busy. I'm like, I didn't see any college football today. I didn't see any pro football. And I Bo's got games, Taylor's got games, so I'm out. Like
I thought about throwing on the Dodgers Diamondbacks game, but I just felt like we're going to see both of those teams a ton.
Yeah,
the rest of the season. I don't need to watch them again tonight. I'll read the recap when it's over.
Yeah. Well, you didn't miss much. You're in one of those weird positions too, where like technically you need the Dodgers to win that. You do. You don't want the Arizona Diamondbacks. You don't want them creeping. You don't want them getting hot. The Dodgers are going to be hot. So logic would say, I really need the Dodgers to win. I can't do it. There's no way that I can sit there. I like when they lose. I really, really do. I like when they lose. Paulie, what did you do last night?
A little bit in between where both of you guys were at. I was following some of the baseball, but kind of just on the iPad. Uh-huh.
You cooked sports.
I cooked sports.
Cooked sports last night.
I was mostly catching up on some shows.
Like
Thursday is new episode of Hacks.
Okay.
So got up on that. Conan O'Brien has a documentary series on Max. Conan goes somewhere, and he like travels around the country or around the world. And so they just had a new season start yesterday.
I want that
gig.
To
Spain.
Is that not the dream?
It's the dream gig.
You get famous enough that you can pitch, hey, I'd like to do a series where you send me to phenomenal places.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I spend about an hour a day talking about them on camera, and then the rest of the day I'm eating and sightseeing and staying in a 5-star hotel and just enjoying myself during this 3-week shoot that we're on in some far-flung tropical or European locale. That is absolutely the dream.
Yeah, Stanley Tucci had a show.
Where it was Stanley Tucci eats Italy or something like. Come on, come on.
You know what, Stanley? It's a great idea. On the house, we got you. We're gonna put you up. We're gonna give you the best. He's like, what kind of good fortune is that, man? It's great. It's great. I did, like I said, I watched some baseball. We watched. My kids really like School of Rock, so we watched School of Rock. Again for the billionth time, but I never really get tired of School of Rock.
Movie.
It's a great movie. They were running around the house doing the riff from Iron Man, which made me very happy. Not the movie, the song by Black Sabbath. And so Dad took him in, opened up YouTube, showed him the real Black Sabbath playing Iron Man, and to kind of teach them, this is where that comes from. And so it was great. We watched that. We hung out as a family. Yeah, School of Rock is such an elite elite movie. Such a good movie. So we watched that, put them down, man. And I was like, I went to bed at like 8:30. I mean, I watched a little bit more of the Dodgers game. I did see Shohei hit his home run in the ninth inning. And as soon as he hit it, I go, it's 2 outs. He hit a bomb. I'm just going to go to bed. So I crashed out. I didn't like even put anything on my phone. I actually just went to sleep. Good night's sleep. Ready to rock.
Like you'll be just fine.
So good, man. Yeah, but the legend of the rent was way hardcore. It's so good.
He's so good in that movie.
He's so brilliant in that movie. He just lets it eat.
Yeah,
that's what he does. He lets it eat in that movie. And we're obviously getting ready for the big Mother's Day weekend, everybody. So I wanted to, I know my mom and dad are listening right now. Mom, happy Mother's Day to you. You are truly the GOAT. Nothing like the love of a mother. Nothing. There's nothing like the love of a mother. And then, of course, to my wife, Hannah, happy Mother's Day weekend to you. I love you. You're the best mom. She's going to go to Elton John tonight with the other moms. And
that's right. Tonight is Elton John at Petco Park.
It should be. If you see her tonight at Petco Park, no, you didn't. All right? just remember, if you see her out at Petco Park tonight, no, you didn't. I'm sure they're going to cut loose. I'm sure they're going to cut loose tonight at Petco Park. We do have an early Little League game. All of the moms are involved in said Little League game. Uh-oh. 2 of the moms against 2 of the other moms tomorrow, 10 a.m. So they could be looking a little worse for wear. They would never look worse for wear. They could be feeling a little bit worse for wear. They always look phenomenal. But they're going to be out at Petco Park tonight, just getting after it to Elton John. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. You guys are the best.
Yeah, I think Julie's watching right now on YouTube. So
sweet angel Julie.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day to Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Happy Mother's Day, Marianne. I got 2 moms. It's awesome to have 2 moms.
Kim is amazing. Happy Mother's Day to all you guys and all the tier 1 moms out there. You're very special.
So we did
love moms, MILFs, moms, all of them.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yep.
We did have while we were doing the roundtable yesterday, the big breaking world news. Well, it actually happened during our show. But
it did. We finally broke some news on Ben and Wood.
New Pope. We got to tell everybody about that yesterday, and of course at Channel 10, that was by far the big story because he's actually, everyone, it's the first American Pope. And he's actually been here. He's done some stuff at Saints High School because he's like from the Augustinian order of the Catholic Church. And so there was a lot of local stories to tie it in. But the biggest one everyone was like following was, is he a Cubs or a White Sox fan? And the early reporting was that he was a Cubs fan, even though he was from the South Side. And all the Cubs fans rejoiced. They put it on the
Wrigley Field
marquee. The new Pope, he's a Cubs fan. But then
not so fast,
as a little more research was done and they interviewed his brother, and he goes, I don't know where this Cubs fan stuff is coming from. He is a White Sox fan. And then they found a picture of him at the 2005 World Series cheering for the White Sox. But there's actually a Pope now who sounds like he's a fairly significant baseball fan in the United States.
Yeah. He the truth comes out, right? I mean, at the end of the day, and of course, Padres fans were going, man, he must have been really pissed about James Shields for Fernando Tatis Jr. years ago. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to have
it feels like, any Pope, if you were going to pick a team in Major League Baseball, why wouldn't it be the Padres?
Right.
Should be the correct team for any Pope to cheer for.
He probably has a little bit of a special place.
I would hope so.
Yeah, he's like, that's my favorite NL team. I'm a White Sox guy. Obviously, I hate the Cubs, but Padres are my favorite.
The Friars, you get the robes and everything. Seems like a logical.
It's seamless. You slide right in. I mean, you absolutely slide right into Padres fandom for sure.
I was watching for the memes all day long yesterday.
Yeah,
the Chicago memes were killing me.
Yeah, they're really good. Really,
I saw the new Pope piece of Christ is a deep dish pizza being served instead of a cracker.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, peace be with you.
Hey, what's his name? Pope Leo? How are you?
Hey, the Chicago Bulls intro for the new Pope.
He comes out.
He's so good, dude. Absolutely.
Pope Leo the 14th.
From North Carolina. So good. Hey, Pope, Leo, how are
I
you?
saw the sports guys from SNL. Dub, Pope, Dub, Pope, Dub, Pope, Dub, Pope.
Fantastic. Yeah, those days, this was a big day on Twitter yesterday. It really was. It was, hey, you like deep dish? Do you like Portillo's? Hey, let's go down to Wiener Circle.
What's
that accent
what's
was
Malort?
gnarly.
I kept seeing that
It's a
yesterday.
drink. It's like I believe it's like a
Jägermeister shot.
I think it's like a liqueur. Let me look real quick. I've had it before.
Highly bitter wormwood-based liqueur.
Liqueur.
That sounds
particularly popular in Chicago.
Yeah.
Swedish spirit with unique polarizing flavor profile.
Polarizing. It's a good word.
That means most
people
people
hate
It
it.
tastes like butt, actually. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't remember this being like a thing when I lived there.
Malort.
Bro, obviously the hot dogs. I never realized, like when I moved there, people would be like, hey, how are you? Where are you from? I'd be like, Texas. Like, you don't put ketchup on your hat dag, do you? And I'd be like, no, never. I eat mustard. Hey, try a Chicago dag. And I'm like, all right, I'll eat one. Why are you assaulting me about my hot dog? Like, it's like they're not going to let you in the building. They take it so effing seriously. It's insane. It's insane. So
what makes it the Chicago? It's all the condiments,
all the stuff on it. And
you know what? It's delicious.
It's delicious.
The pickle spear, a tomato, onion, celery salts, sport pepper.
It's fantastic, dude. It really is a good
electric relish. It's a specific like set of ingredients to make it a Chicago dog on a steamed poppy seed bun.
And the problem though is if you don't get a good dog, like sometimes you know how you get like the rubbery dog, Paulie. If you bite into it and it's a rubbery dog, the whole thing falls apart in your lap or on the plate.
It's the Vienna hot dog with the snap. It's got to have the right snap.
You got to have the right ability to bite through it. Look at all of us like this on the camera. Just
They say you run it through the garden.
How did you gain all the weight?
That's how you turned it into a Chicago dog.
They were so nuts about it. Like day one. Hey, what do you eat on your hat dag? Mustard, and maybe I'll put a little relish on there from time to time. Oh no. And then the first time you have one, you're like, ooh, because I don't really like tomatoes that much, but
works all together.
It really, really works all about
beef.
It's really tasty. So yeah, the Malort thing I think is fairly new. At least it wasn't a thing when I was there. It could be 100 years old. I have no idea. I didn't have anybody that was into it when I was there. But man, yeah.
David J says, if you love grappa but wish it tasted even worse, Malort is for you.
Grappa,
I hate that too.
I liked grappa.
Oh, you did?
I did. Well, I felt like it got me extra toasty.
It probably did.
Ouzo, same thing.
That's Greek grappa,
Greek
essentially.
grappa.
Yeah.
I kind of liked that as well. I don't know. I liked stuff that got me drunk, and I think that grappa definitely did that. So it's not bad. It's not bad at all. But yeah, big day on Twitter yesterday with the announcement of Pope Leo. So when does he?
He's on. Yeah, that's as soon as the white
hired.
smoke. He's hired. He's
no onboarding.
Already did his first homily, or in the Sistine Chapel, and did the waving to everybody from St. Peter's Square.
Okay.
It's he's good to go for life now.
Does he have to do the HR videos and stuff?
Probably,
like we do?
yeah.
Like
the onboarding,
the HR videos, direct deposit.
Some of the worst acting in those training videos, the HR videos that you have to watch.
Oh, there's nothing worse.
They actually keeps me engaged because of how funny the acting is.
No doubt.
It's like,
no doubt.
Susie was walking through the break room. It's like, hey, Susie. And the guy just pinches her in the butt.
Yeah, you want a piece of this? I mean, look.
Was this sexual harassment? Yes or no?
Yeah. I mean, we say that it's like hard to imagine, but I don't think it is. I really don't think it is.
I'm fascinated by when you said, get your direct deposits set up. Does the Pope get paid?
I have no idea how these people make
I
money.
mean,
I don't think so. Don't you live a life of poverty? Isn't that like part of the bit?
Yeah, but there's also a ton of like travel, and I'm sure he must have some
like a papal.
Like if he wants to buy a gift for his brother or something for Christmas, he's got to have some sort of funds for that, right?
I have no idea.
So you have to get paid somehow.
I know we don't have near enough time for this, but like I'm not Catholic. I don't really know what the Pope does.
Probably I don't know. I have no idea.
Like, what are his duties?
He's the head of the Catholic Church. They do, Sunday services in the Vatican, but he also spreads the gospel, the word of Christ, the Catholic Church. He's the leader of 2 billion Catholics around the world.
He's got to sit through benefits training today in the Vatican. It's like, I get it. Yes, here's my yes. I got my
What's
card.
the matching program like for the 401k
yes,
here?
Yes, Pope. What is the deductible exactly?
Now, Pope leads a life of celibacy, right?
Oh, yeah.
So can't say I'm on my wife's insurance. So I don't need to. I don't
Right.
need to sit through this.
No. You got to get your own.
Gotta go through it all.
Yeah. You're lucky in that regard. You're on your wife.
Oh
so
yeah. We have government insurance.
You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Every year I got to decide, did we spend enough? Have we not? Do I need to raise this? What's this deductible? So I have no idea. I just pretty much run with what I've been running with since I had the 2 kids. But well, congratulations to Pope Leo. So that's the name he picked.
Leo the 14th.
That's kind of a cool,
Not bad.
cool name. Pope Leo.
Leo.
What was his original name?
He was Cardinal Robert Prevost.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it, man. So yeah, Kyle says he's got an Amex, probably like a papal Amex. You have a $25 a day per diem. Just so you know, I need you to be very judicious.
$25.
$25?
You go for the cappuccino at the little coffee stand down in the Vatican Square, and the Pope, I got you. I got you again. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's on me. Someone's probably going to pick up the tab. You're the Pope walking around. You want a coffee. Someone's picking up the tab.
Company car is sick, Chris.
The Pope-mobile.
It really doesn't get much
We
better
ran a
than that.
story from when the Pope came to California in 1987. That was John Paul II, right? And driving through the streets of LA in that Pope-mobile, which is essentially like a clear armored car, so you can't like take a pot shot at the Pope as you're driving by.
Yeah.
And he's just waving, standing in the Pope-mobile through the streets of Los Angeles. It was crazy.
Heather says he doesn't get paid, but he gets taken care of. That's really the way. I mean, if you can just skate by, just getting taken care of the rest of your life, that's pretty good.
Never have to reach in his pocket again for anything.
No, fantastic, man. So, well, congratulations, Pope Leo. Welcome to the scene.
The papacy.
Go Sox.
Papacy. Yeah, go Sox. All right, yeah, let's get to it.
Let's get to
Should
it.
we scream at each other again? Because I'm
So,
ready.
yeah.
All right, this was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. A Friday show is already naturally pretty loose and fun and off the rails for us. A Friday show after a Thursday with no Padres game, even more so. And we're kind of searching for some good sports topics to bite down on over our 4-hour morning. You guys were screaming at each other at about...
No, we were screaming to each other.
Well, it started on text
5:53.
yesterday.
Yeah.
And has continued into the morning, and we'll continue with our first guest later this hour. But Woods and I have some disagreements about one Rafael Devers and the Red Sox, and we'll get into it a little bit coming up next when we set the menu with Ben and Woods. Kelly's got her first check of traffic here on a Friday morning on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, want to tell you about Prize Picks. The weekend is coming up. You got plenty of playoff basketball action, playoff hockey, and, of course, a full weekend of baseball. And you can set lineups all weekend long with Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy where you're just picking more or less on stat projections between 2 and 6 players for a chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash. It's really easy to play. Start by downloading the app at prizepicks.com. Use the code KWFN. So when you start, you're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Then just look at the different players you're watching, set your lineups, and have fun. Today also is Flex Friday, so make sure you opt in, tap the checkbox in your lineup builder to be eligible for the protected play. That means you win, you win. You lose, they give you your money back. Flex Friday is games where you don't even have to win every single one of your picks. Maybe pick 5, win 4, and you can still win money with Prize Picks. It's easy to load your account and take your money out with MasterCard, with Apple Pay, with Venmo, however you want to do it. Very, very easy with Prize Picks. Just get it started today. Go to prizepicks.com. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Hey, here on 97.3 The Fan, but not a Mike Schilt Friday. We had him on last week. We'll have him on next week. So
I wish we had him this week.
after all the John Boy lip reading and everything, it would have been interesting, no doubt. We will have the CEO of the San Diego Padres, Erik Greupner, joining us at 8 o'clock this morning as they get ready for a big homestand next week against the Angels and Mariners, the first ever Vetter Cup coming to San Diego next week. So Erik Greupner will be with us at 8 o'clock. We'll also have our regular SDFC Friday guest, Darren Smith, joining us once again from somewhere in Europe, as he did last week. You were gone last Friday, fake sick, actually surprising your dad for his birthday. But you are here today, so you get to talk with Darren coming up at 7:35. Have our normal features, but we have an early guest coming up in our next segment, our friend Rob Bradford from the Baseball Isn't Boring Odyssey podcast, and of course, Boston guy. And we thought, oh, this would be a good time because yesterday Adam sent us the story about Rafael Devers being asked to fill in, move over to first base now that Tristan Casas is out for the season with his knee injury. Yeah. So after all the drama of pushing him off of third base for Alex Bregman and accepting the role as a designated hitter, Devers kind of, I don't know if you want to say balked, bristled at the idea of now being asked to, okay, now I have to go play first base after all this drama. And we got into it on text with me, you, Adam, Paulie, and you went to bat for Rafael Devers.
I did.
Saying that the Boston Red Sox organization is yanking him around.
They butchered this thing. They really have. They butchered it from the get-go. And I was listening to, this isn't me, this is Dan Plesac yesterday on MLB Network saying, remember when they brought Bregman in, it was going to be this. Hey, Bregman might play a little second. Bregman may even play a little left. Don't worry about it, Rafi. Then it's, Bregman's going to play third. We're going to need you to DH. I don't want to DH. I've been working my tail off. I've reduced my errors every year. I'm working hard at this, and I want to be the third baseman. You signed me to this big deal last year to be your third baseman. I don't want to just DH. I don't want to put my glove away. No. Put your glove away.
You don't need that.
Fine. Had a really rough start to the season. Remember how bad he was at the beginning of the season. Figured it out in the DH spot. Craig Breslow comes to him apparently and says, with Tristan out, we need you to play first. And he said, why do I have to clean up your mess? So I did. And we're going to ask Rob about all this stuff. But you and Adam were like, that's BS, and you got to be a team player and blah, blah, blah. And I think at the end of the day, he was a team player when he came off third and DH'd. Craig Breslow, Ben, I feel like maybe a touch over his skis in that role. And the reason I say that is this. He actively tried to trade Tristan Casas, who was their first baseman. What were you going to do then? Right? I do think Rafi will eventually end up at first base. But why does Rafael Devers, after you remember, put your glove away? Well, can I play some? No. Put your glove away. Bregman's having a baby. Can I play third when he's gone? Put your glove down. You don't need your glove ever. Hey, man, can you grab your glove?
I'll acknowledge Craig Breslow has mishandled it, certainly from a PR standpoint and probably from a personal interaction standpoint with Rafael Devers. However, someone has to play first base with Casas out.
Sure. So go get a first baseman. That's what he said is like he should do his job and have somebody ready or go get someone.
But you're never going to find a first baseman who's going to produce like Casas. But you have a guy.
Sure you can.
Not in the middle of the season.
But you're fine moving a guy that's never played first in the middle of the season to play first?
You weren't expecting Casas to get hurt. Why would you go, well, we could sign a $25 million first baseman and just put him on the bench until Casas gets hurt.
But you don't even have any depth anywhere. But you have no depth at any position.
But your best player that you could put there is clearly Rafael Devers. He can already hit.
Why clearly?
Well, who is a better player than Rafael Devers?
A better first baseman? I don't know, but he's never played first base.
If you take a first baseman from the bench who can't hit, you're now putting a bad hitter into your lineup. You don't have to do that if you put Rafael Devers there. You're just having an already.
DH?
Well, you can put
your best hitter on the bench.
You can put your best hitter there. If you want to say whoever your best hitter that was going to be the DH, just put him at first base. But then you're asking someone else who probably hasn't played first base to play first base.
Stop asking people to learn how to play first base.
Pretty simple. Pretty simple in that regard.
This is an unfortunate circumstance.
It absolutely
guys
is.
Get injured and other people have to play their position.
Or you go out.
This has happened in baseball forever.
You go out and replace that player, which is what a GM and an owner
should do in the offseason, or make a trade. But even now, even for a week or two, someone has to play first base, and it makes the most sense for Devers to do it.
Why does it make the most sense for why not Garrett Crochet on the day he doesn't pitch?
Because he can't hit.
How do you know?
I would assume that Devers is a better hitter than Crochet, and you'd rather have.
You're talking about a first baseman, not a hitter. He's the designated hitter, which is what you asked him to be. You beat him down to being the DH, and he goes, "Fine, I'll DH." Actually,
let's say you're playing an extra inning game. A couple of guys get hurt. And you've got no one left.
Joe Musgrove goes out and plays
Someone has to go play first base. Devers makes sense to do it.
And
plus,
listen,
they're paying him $31 million a year.
So when they pay you, they own you.
The money is for, the money is
fair enough,
to do what they ask you to do. That's what the money is for.
No.
If you wanted to play for free and say, but I get to pick where I play, where I'm in the lineup, I would imagine the Red Sox would be more than happy agreeing to that. If Devers said, hey, I'll play for the minimum, but you need to play me where I want and when I want. Devers would be at third base and Bregman would be wherever but for $31 million, Devers can play at first base, at least for a while.
In a perfect world. And again, like I said, I think he will end up there. And I do believe some of this was lost in translation. I really do. And that's what a lot of people have been saying. He wasn't mad. He just said, I think I'm kind of being jerked around here. You got to understand, this is a prideful guy.
Oh, he's being jerked around.
But his pride is what got him to the big leagues. His ego, Ben, is what got him to the big leagues. That's what got him a $300 million contract. They invested in him. When they tell him, you will not be playing defense, you don't need a glove. Take your glove, give it to a little kid. You're not going to need it. Actually, can you come clean up my mess? because I have no depth. Can you come clean up my mess for me? I totally get why he's saying what he's doing.
Ultimately, if Adam came to us and said, we need you guys to host 10-2 instead of 6-10, I think we'd both think that's a huge mistake. But they pay us, and we would have to do it. Ultimately, that's what the money is for. Doesn't matter if we think it's the right decision or not. Now, if he moves there and he plays bad, and then they start trashing him for playing bad, that's a horrible look for the Red Sox. If he plays there, they should be extremely supportive.
Well, they're going to be fake supportive for sure. What do you think the fans are going to do to Rafi Devers, right? Like, let's ask Rob Bradford this, because does he have a case? Because there are people in chat saying, I agree with Woods, I agree with Ben. This is obviously clearly a good sports radio topic. We don't do a lot of debate on this show. I do feel like this is how we both legitimately feel. Mm-hmm. This isn't contrived. I admire the ability and willingness to stand on his business. I really do. And I think once you start doing exactly what they tell you or need you to do, even though they've told you differently a bunch of times, I think that opens a whole new Pandora's box in this whole thing. So, I mean, he said it yesterday. He's like, what happens if an outfielder why are you treating a $300 million player like a utility guy?
Yeah.
That's kind of where
maybe Rafi Devers signed with a bad employer, but he chose to sign with that employer, and now he is in their employ for $31 million a year. And this is what they need him to do. We'll talk.
You don't know how to play first base. It's not that hard, Scott. Tell him, watch.
It's incredibly hard.
Yeah, you saw that. You guys saw that. It's funny. In the Red Sox game against the Texas Ranger, I think it was Josh Smith that was playing first and had no idea what he was doing. Did you see where his foot was on the bag?
Oh, yeah.
One of the guys ran flush into him. Guys, it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is. It's not. There's footwork. There's positioning. There's all kinds of stuff. He doesn't want to be embarrassed on the big league level. Without a little bit of help, you could have done this in spring training. You could have done it. Tristan Casas did not want him taking ground balls at first base. This organization, what it boils down to, is a dumpster fire right now. It's a dumpster fire.
We will talk with Rob Bradford coming up in our next segment. A little baseball isn't boring, and this is why it isn't boring, because there's so many things that you can debate about it. That is coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, it's Friday. Before you get to your weekend, how about taking something that's been stressing you out off your plate? Maybe for years you've been putting it off. Simply go to trustandwill.com like Woods and I did and answer some simple questions. And at the end of the process, you will have real legal documents, either a will so you can bequeath all your items to your loved ones, or even a trust where you can take your assets, put them in a trust, and help your family avoid the messy costs of probate court if and when you're gone.
Yeah, costs, time, pain, all of it. Guys, it just makes sense. And again, put it off for so long because partly lazy, partly just didn't want to face the reality of needing one. But look, it's coming for all of us at some point. Make sure you're dialed in when you do. That's kind of the bottom line here. Go to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN, F-A-N, when you check out. They're going to knock 20% off, which is incredible. They're going to ship you your estate documents for free. You grab that envelope, you throw it in the drawer, and you let your spouse know this is where it is in case something happens.
So many tier ones have done it. They realized, hey, it's not that much of a pain. The cost is affordable. You're not dealing with a lawyer and billable hours. Just get it done today. Go to trustandwill.com before the weekend. Trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Well, still getting into it a bit about Rafael Devers. We got Rob Bradford standing by from the Baseball Isn't Boring podcast. Get his thoughts on what's going on in Beantown. First, though, let's get a quick check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Good morning. We're off to a pretty quiet start on our roads. Stalled motorcycle reported on southbound 15 before the 52. Looks like freeway service patrol is getting that moved over to the right shoulder. San Diego, before you cruise out this Memorial Day, stop by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed, just 15 minutes and your road trip ready. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, experts you can trust. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So through all of this, the Boston Red Sox have put together a 20-19 record, which in the National League buries you, but in the American League puts you half a game out of a playoff spot. And we're joined right now by our Odyssey colleague and friend Rob Bradford, host of the Baseball Isn't Boring podcast. Rob, it's been a while. Good to have you back here on in San Diego on 97.3 The Fan with Ben & Woods.
Oh, man, what a time to be alive. I appreciate it, guys. I always appreciate talking with you guys. You guys are some of the best. And, yeah, a little bit of chaos in baseball.
Well,
like chaos.
It's funny, Rob, because the three of us, absolutely reveled in, enjoyed every second of the clubhouse, inside the clubhouse on Netflix. Thought it was a good look inside of a Major League Baseball team, one that we've really never seen. We, as a show, we've been up close, we've been in, but we've never been in hitters meetings and how to attack. I mean, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was ballsy for them to do it. I thought it was incredible. I find myself rooting for tons of guys on that team now. And I'll tell you, man, I find myself really sympathetic to Rafael Devers, and Ben kind of goes the other way. Our boss, Adam, goes the other way. I've seen all kinds of different sentiments on social media, which is not uncommon. Kind of where do you stand and where does it stand today?
Yeah, first of all, they missed it by a year, to be perfect.
They sure did, man.
They missed, and I'll tell you, as a quick aside, I'll tell you what, they ran out of money for the last month and a half. They missed the biggest day, which was this day in Colorado where they tried to fight the Rockies, and Alex Cora agrees to an extension. I mean, can you imagine the boom mic followed around the 20 guys walking toward the Rockies clubhouse? Anyway, what's done is done. But I will say this. I said, I think a lot of people have screwed up here. I think the Red Sox screwed up, and I think Rafael Devers continues to screw up. When he had his press conference in spring training, and this was no, I'm only playing third base, and that's going to be it. That's not how baseball works. Everybody knew that. The Red Sox knew that. But Rafael Devers was sort of just saying, I am trying to put my stake in the ground, a stake that isn't going to get in the ground, because that's, again, not how baseball works. So the Red Sox say, all right, we're only going to DH you. That's all we're going to do. We're not going to ask you to do anything else, which was a mistake also, because, if a lot of DHs who start want to play the field at least a little bit, to sort of try to placate him that way was a mistake, and that led him to open up this avenue where he said, well, they said they were only going to DH me. How dare they ask me to play another position? And so that's where I tilt to the side of Rafael Devers. Come on. I mean, really, it's baseball. It's baseball. If you are asked to play another position, then no matter what has happened, this isn't about, trying to mark your territory or having an attempt to mark your territory, which you weren't able to do before. This is just simply about helping the team that you're signed up for 9 years more at $27 million a year, if not more, heading into the majority of your career. This is helping your team, and doing so by doing something that baseball players continuously are asked to do, which is playing another position. This isn't the Chilean miners sitting in the mine shaft, saying, "Oh my goodness, like how dare you ask me, not poke the hole in the roof." I mean, I'm sorry, I always default to Chilean miners, which I'm now dating myself, but it's one of these things where I know that a lot of people have come out and said, a lot of former players and current players of saying, you're asked to do something, you do it. Kevin Millar was on the broadcast the other night, and he went on sort of a rant before any of this came on. And he said, you think I like playing right field? No, it was embarrassing, but I did it. And obviously there's plenty of other guys who are the highest paid guys and guys who are the lowest paid guys who are all doing this. You guys have a couple there. You have Tatis, you have Xander Bogaerts, and Bogaerts I think is a good example of this. Is that there is a way where the organization messes up is not understanding that you got to get out ahead of something like this as much as you can in the off season. They didn't do that with Bogaerts. They didn't do that with Devers. And so when Bogaerts was asked at the last minute play second, he obviously wasn't happy about it, right?
Correct.
Just like Devers isn't happy. I mean, I've had executives say, if I learned anything, it is get out ahead of this as much as possible. And in both cases, they did not do it. But ultimately, you go, you play the position because you want to win, you want to be a good teammate, and that's my long-winded way of saying I just have not seen another example where a guy said no, even though I know and everybody in that clubhouse knows this is the best thing for the team, even though everybody knows that probably this is where I was going to end up anyway when I signed this deal. I'm saying no because I am trying to enact my revenge where I wasn't able to enact my revenge when I had the initial press conference. I don't know if that made any sense.
It does.
That's my rant.
It does, and I'll push back just a little bit. Number one, I think based on a couple things I saw, there was a little bit lost in translation between Rafi, the translator, and the media, from what I understand. It was more of, I'll probably do it, but to learn it now on the fly, I'm not going to be ready tomorrow. So we got to give this thing a little time. There is something about me, Rob, that appreciates the no. I'm literally doing what you asked me to do. You asked me to put my glove away. I'm putting my glove away per your directions. Per your directions. You never need to bring a glove to the field. Okay, no problem. This was your idea, not mine. It was your idea. You told me I can't even play third when Bregman goes to have a baby. So no problem. I'm literally doing what you asked me to do. By verbatim what you asked me to do. Now I got to bail you out, Craig Breslow, because you don't have a clue what you're doing in this position. You saw it in the clubhouse. Do you remember? I think it was the very first episode. Devers, Breslow, and Cora sitting in the office, and Rafi had come out and said, guys, we are a last place team. What are we doing? Why aren't we adding players to this team to make it better? And they had to go in and have this big conversation. Could there be a little bit of something personal between Breslow and Devers?
Well, there clearly is. I mean, we heard this yesterday, and I hear about the interpreter, and I've seen different things on the internet. It's a tough one, right?
Yeah.
It's a tough situation, but I think that overall, the tone and the message was probably accurate. And I'll come back to when you said, you made some good points. I'll come back to when you said the part where hey, you're asking me to DH, I'm only going to DH. Well, that was the mistake because you can't be walking on eggshells. You can't be doing that. You can't, and you cannot get caught in the middle of these things. If you're the manager, if you're the GM,
no doubt.
And that's where they were trying to placate him by saying, oh, you know what? You're only, because it never made any sense. I always said this, I go through all DHs who do it for the first time. They want to play the field a little bit.
Yeah.
They're better when they play the field a little bit. All of that. And so when you say absolutely no, and by the way, when you have him striking out 15 of the first 19 plate appearances to begin the year, that's not good either. And so you were left with, throughout spring training, when we were trying to guess at what was going on, we go back to spring training, you have the press conference, but even after that, he played in 5 Grapefruit League games. 5. And it wasn't because he was hurt. It was because for whatever reason, he didn't want to play in them.
Yeah.
And that was them, again, trying to placate him. You cannot play both sides of the fence, and now it's coming back to, because he's going to take that window. He's going to jump through that window and do exactly what you said. Hey, you asked me to do this. Why not? And I'll say this again, like the one quote, which I really had a problem with, was like, next thing you know, and I'm paraphrasing,
The
next thing you
outfield.
know, you're outfield. Yeah, go play the outfield. They'll never ask you to play that. Of course
Never.
they're going to ask you. But yes, that's the point. Is that, and so you said, like, yeah, Breslow didn't have a backup plan, but I think that part of it too should be taken in context, because you had your everyday first baseman have a season-ending injury, and that wasn't, nobody could expect that. So yeah, did they protect themselves the level they probably should have with Abraham Toro, with Romy Gonzalez? I don't know. I do know this, another example of where they messed up in trying to placate Rafael Devers while he's taking ground balls, whether it was in spring training or in Texas on opening day or at Fenway Park before games. Hey, Rafi, go put a first baseman glove, see how it feels just in case. And they never did that.
Nope.
You know why? Because once again, trying to play both sides of it.
That's tough.
It's our Boston colleague, Rob Bradford. And just like that, I think we're out of time. I mean, that's how.
Oh my God!
That's how passionate we got, Rob. But everybody out there should check out his Odyssey podcast. Baseball isn't boring.
Quickly, do you think they move him?
Trade him?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No. He's they through all the chaos, they also know that there's not a lot of players they can get like him. They need him.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, man. That was awesome. I knew you'd bring the heat. I knew you would.
All right. It's always a pleasure, guys. I really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
pal.
Thanks, Rob.
I love Robbie. So good.
I actually didn't even get to ask Rob a question there. That's how fast that went.
That went like crazy.
The only thing that I wanted to bring up, and we can discuss it, just you and me as well.
We got all morning.
Boston fans, and Nate in our chat said, if Devers fails, he'll be called a bum and take heat for years.
Done. I mean, it's going to be
you
brutal.
know that Boston fans are passionate, and when there's that much passion, and we're seeing it here in San Diego now,
yeah,
there also tends to be a little bit of lunacy as well. And
but there's always been lunacy there.
You can see that Devers may be a little gun shy because of that
lunacy.
Agreed. And you can see Xander is maybe a little PTSD from it, or maybe seeing it here in San Diego now, and that makes him hesitant to do something he's uncomfortable with on the field as well.
It's just everyone's saying it's not a big ask. It's a big ask to learn a new position in the middle of a season, man. It really is.
Paulie has been working hard for how many months?
Oh, this has been a while.
Guess what?
Like 6, 7 months.
A whole new edition of Things Ben Likes coming up next.
Yes.
Look how nervous Woods is.
Why?
The Padres are playing the Rockies today.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I know you are.
I didn't really let myself think about it this morning. I was having too much fun with that Red Sox discussion.
Mm-hmm.
It continued after, through the break. It's a good discussion. I think these stories are fun and they're interesting and they're intertwined, certainly with what we've been through here and I think what a lot of teams go through. And I saw a lot of comps yesterday. In fact, our boss Adam made a couple of comps. Well, look what Jackson Merrill did. All right, well, Jackson Merrill was a rookie. Jackson Merrill would have caught if they asked him to catch. He was trying to make a ball club. Well, look what Fernando Tatis did. Well, Fernando Tatis told the team, get me off the dirt or I'm going to get hurt. Move me to the outfield. And they did. Oh, but Mookie Betts, he did it. Well, Mookie started as a shortstop. They moved him to the outfield. He played great. And they said, hey, man, would you like to go back to short? There's not an outfielder on the planet that came up as a shortstop that's not going, yeah, God, yes, I want to get back to shortstop. Not one. Oh, Kevin Millar. Oh, well, he went out and subbed in different positions. What choice does Kevin Millar have? He's not Rafael Devers. Guys, as much as we don't want to admit it, stars are different. They're different.
Isn't first base like the most fun position?
It's such a fun position.
It's like the most fun position on the field.
Such a fun
You're in the middle of everything. You touch the ball almost every play. You got guys coming over and saying hello all the time.
It's great.
You got a coach right there.
Benny, there's
no better place on the field.
I wouldn't give up playing first base for anything. I think it's a blast. I don't play in Boston. I'm not professional. I don't make $300 million.
And I get Rafael Devers not wanting to look like a fool. No one wants to look like a fool, especially in front of a fan base that can be
mean.
And so you're asking him something difficult. But if you appreciate him internally, and you got teammates, you got coaches, you got management, go, hey, Rafi, thank you so much. You stepped up big time. I really appreciate it. Don't listen to those fans who are giving you a hard time for those 3 errors you made.
Totally.
It's tough.
Totally, Ben. It doesn't work that way.
That's what the money's for, though. That's what the money's for.
Money certainly soothes that, but I just don't think it's as easy as you and Adam and Rob Bradford are making it out to be. And I think if you asked any big leaguer, let me qualify that. If you asked any star player, Bryce Harper moved to first. Bryce Harper's arm was pulled pork. Bryce Harper didn't have a choice. They said, if you want to play, you're going to have to move into the infield and play first base. He goes, all right, no problem. Every case is different, man. That's all I'm saying. And I think jerking a star player around the way that they have, look, ultimately.
Does Devers, though, have an overinflated opinion of his skills?
Potentially.
He's not as good as Bregman at third.
Bregman has more errors.
This
he's
season,
leading,
but
so I mean, again, it's a tough position for him to be in. And again, I think and Altuve was a comp Adam made. Jose Altuve played 14 years at second base. 14. And then it was like, hey, he's got World Series rings, he's got MVP. He's good. Rafael Devers is 28 years old. He's just starting this career, man. And now, hey, man, and I look, Ben, I'm a team player. I consider myself very much a team player. If I'm not the best first baseman on my team, I will take myself out and put the best first baseman in. I always have. That being said, I'm also not Rafael Devers. I'm Kevin Millar, right? It's different. It is absolutely different when you're a star player. It just is. If we want to keep it all the same and we want to turn Major League Baseball into the military where we're all uniform, guess what? Everybody makes $1 million and you play for bonuses and incentives. Fine. Whatever you want to do. But baseball is not the military. Not every player is the same. Not every organization handles things the right way. And again, I think both things can be true. I do feel ultimately he should go to first base. I really do. I think it would be best for the team. But I also understand his really gnarly 90 days he's had with the Boston Red Sox and why it's bubbling over. I absolutely do. I do.
All right. Paulie's been working very hard. We're going to debut another like 50 things Ben likes?
About 50.
How long did it take you to get there?
So
it's taken us a while.
We've done, this is our 5th installment of the montage of things Ben likes. So we've been doing this now for a little over a year. The last one that we did, part 4, was at the end of August. So it's been 7 months.
Is that a sign that I'm liking less things, perhaps? Am I
or
getting
you just keep
crustier
liking the same thing
in my? Oh, you
Yeah.
need original
We need originals.
things Ben likes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I present to you guys part 5 of things Ben likes.
Revenge of the Sith.
I like the idea of the fast offense. I like a good Oktoberfest.
I bet you do.
I like eating a lot. I like all the matchups, though, for the series, Woods. I like the word ambiance as well. I do like the hotel rooms that have a nice big tub. I like the Padres' chances in all those games. I like a mini donut, too. I like Stephen A. I like oysters.
Yes.
I saw a quote from Erik Greupner that I actually liked. I like our chances. I mean, I like beef jerky. I like sitting. I like meals out. I like the Royals with Seth Lugo. I like a tangier burger. I like foods. I like the idea of knowing, like, the checks will be coming. I like a good artichoke dip.
I like living in San Diego way more than I would like living in Los Angeles. He's been on our show before. I like Jake. I like playing Golden Tea. I like tomato soup. I like to mix up the difficulty level from time to time. I do actually like buffalo cauliflower. I do like to be right. I liked the players they had this year. I like the consistency. I like hamachi. I do like to make a salient point. I like his at-bats. Well, cranberry juice cocktail, I like that. I like to eat. I do like walking. I liked his approach, attack something quickly, go the other way. I like the clinking of the chips. I like that game yesterday. Again, I just really like the smaller school feel. I like those books, and I like that movie. I like having Nick Pivetta on the mound. I like to try the different items. I like a big old English D. I like some of the swings that he takes. I like to walk. I really do. I actually like him in this spot today. I like Yakitori. I'd like the Padres to be in that situation. And I like that Mike Schilt is the guy. This is a little bit silly, but I liked it.
You're unbelievable. Paulie, that was amazing, dude. Holy cow. The ability to listen for the host and then like the way Paulie puts it together too. Yeah, I don't know. It might be random. It doesn't feel random. It feels like it flows like Biggie, dude.
Those
it really
actually,
does. Like,
because thank you. I do try to put a little bit of thought into like not too many.
The sequencing is important.
Yeah, that one was actually mostly chronological from whenever we started collecting this most recent batch to more recent drops. Like,
I like a big old English D.
What is an English
That's
D?
the
You may not have-
Detroit Tigers.
Oh,
yeah,
logo.
that was the
Were you
the
not
round
here
table.
last Friday or the
No, it
round
was a
table?
round table.
Yeah.
We were talking about team logos or team names that you like.
Oh, I remember. I think I elbowed you, didn't I? Did I say like, hey, remember that?
Yeah, because
The
then
Detroit Tigers logo, the big
I
English
like a
big
D.
old English D.
you do.
He said so. Big old English D. I think you wanted to say a big old English D, right?
It's
Not
old
a big
English.
old English D.
I like a big old English D.
Yeah, try it again, but the right way.
I like a big old English D.
Yes. The context of that really, really matters. I love a big old English D.
I like a big old English D.
That may be my favorite of all time. I like oysters. I like hamachi. It's so good.
So what makes it work is there's a couple. I like hamachi. There's a couple of normal sounding ones. I like Seth Lugo
Yeah, I
on
like
the
Seth Lugo on
Royals.
the
I like
book.
Nick Pivetta on the mound today. I like hamachi. It's just
I like
it's,
hamachi.
It's the non sequiturs. The
Paulie
cranberry
puts it.
juice cocktail. I like that.
I like those. Oh God, that's brilliant, Paulie. Excellent work on a Friday, Ben. You keep liking stuff, and we'll have 100. What do you think the total would be?
Well, as of right now, if we were to play
all
5 mashups together into one long clip, we're at about 6.5 minutes.
Holy smoke!
I like the word ambiance as well.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it's a good word, isn't it?
6.5 minutes. Would people stay tuned for the whole 6.5 minutes? I think we'll have to. We'll debate internally whether we
played
should
17 minutes of Bob Dylan once.
true.
So, I mean,
That's true. I love that. I love it. It delights me so much. When Paulie said he had a new one ready, I was so happy. I'd like to get it up to about an hour.
I like a tangier burger.
We just started at 6 and come in at 7. Just do it every day. A tangier burger is good. Do you like a tangy burger?
Obviously not.
Some sort of tangy condiment on the burger, whether it's a sharp cheddar cheese or something along those lines. Sure, yeah. This is a little bit silly, but I liked it.
Yeah. What? Not like a tangy sauce, though, right?
It could be a tangy. I'm not a huge fan of overly saucy burgers.
No, me neither.
No,
I like a little bit of spread,
just a little
bit of ketchup or
Yeah,
mustard or something.
I want it to
Like coat
the bun, but not
not-
dripping off the sides of the sandwich.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. God, that was good, man. That was really, really good.
All right, quickly before we get to don't do this. So the Padres are going to play the Rockies today, and you can make the argument. Again, Padres have won just 39% of their games in Denver all time. It's a house of horrors for the Padres.
Wait.
39%. So
All time.
390 winning percentage on the road at Coors Field or in Denver.
That's got to be their
Worst. Oh yeah, they're better at Dodger Stadium than they are at Coors Field.
Modern 390.
You can make the argument though at this particular snapshot in time.
This weekend.
This is as good as the Padres have ever been.
Yes.
They are currently tied for their best ever record through 36 games. This is the worst the Rockies have ever been. In fact, it's the worst any team has really almost ever been in the history of baseball right now. They're at a pace that's worse than the Cleveland Spiders back in 1898 or whatever it was. They're 6-31. They just got bodied twice yesterday in doubleheaders. What was it, 10-1 and 11-2 or something? They're horrifically bad. The Padres are historically good. Is that enough to overcome a 390 winning percentage all-time at Coors Field in Denver?
Our pals, Cespedes Family Barbecue, used to have them on every Friday. The Rockies were just swept for the 6th time this season and are now 6-31.
He's been on our show before. I like Jake.
Yeah, you like Jake. With a negative 109 run differential, Ben, in 37 games. Minus 109 run differential. They got bodied yesterday. How many pitchers did they use yesterday? Like 12?
They actually only used, I think, eight. Yeah,
Okay.
pitchers
Well,
yesterday.
Still a lot.
They just let them wear it.
Yeah.
So they would be okay going into this series against the Padres.
It's crazy. I mean, and look, I don't know if you guys saw the press conference with Kyle Freeland, who, is a good pitcher. I would like to see what Kyle Freeland looks like on, the Padres. But if you put Kyle Freeland on the Mets or on the Dodgers or on the Yankees, like, what would Kyle Freeland be, right? He did a little press conference after. Did you guys see this? And one of the reporters was like, Kyle, what do you say to the fans? And he got emotional. Like, he got choked up, and he goes, just keep believing in us, man. Keep riding with us. And I saw that, and I went, oh, great. This comes out right before the Padres head into Coors Field to play. Look, it's setting up perfectly on paper for the San Diego Padres, but we just know baseball is not played on paper. So, hell yeah, I'm nervous about this. It's like 3 trap games of all time. And listen, make no mistake, the pressure is squarely on the San Diego Padres and literally no one else. Bud Black feels zero pressure. Ryan
He also
McMahon,
scored 0 runs when they played the Padres in San Diego earlier this year in 3 games.
100%.
0.
100%.
0.
390.
It's
You win 4 out of 10 times.
It's
almost.
It's the immovable object and the indestructible force.
That's right.
It is May 9th. Somebody in the chat asked, what was the White Sox record at this point
Better.
last year? It was better. They, on Thursday, May 9th last year, they won. Actually, we're on a 5-game winning streak.
Little heater.
They had a 10-28 record.
But that's a warning to you as well. Even the worst team of all time gets on a 5-game winning streak at some point. Who was it that they swept? Or during
so
those 5?
it was 4 games. They won the last game of a series against Tampa Bay, and then won the first 3 of 4 against Cleveland, but they lost.
Couldn't get the mop
sweep.
out against the Guardians, but they won 3 in a row.
They did sweep. This is the White Sox last year. They did sweep the Rays in April. Actually, 3 of those 10 wins came against one team. It was bad.
Yeah. Randy Vasquez, Steven Kolek, and
Nick Pivetta.
So
against Antonio Senzatella, Bradley Blaylock, and German Marquez and his 10 ERA. So far
I
this
could
year.
not care less if it was a 40 ERA.
Yeah,
he still scares me.
It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You got to win these games, man. But it starts tonight. You got to win tonight's game. We'll focus on some of that.
But you do feel like any game lost to the Rockies
This is brutal.
is giving up ground on everybody else.
I mean,
they're going to be winning most of their games against the Rockies.
I'm going to try to be off of Twitter this weekend because these are those series that make you insane. They just do. I'd rather play a team that's in it with better pitching, in a better ballpark, Ben. That's not been such a house of horrors. But look, on paper, we are the far superior team, as is pretty much everybody in Major League Baseball. But again, not played on paper. You got to go out. You got to exercise that demon.
Jake Cronenworth, no announcement yet, but is expected to return. And unlike Jackson Merrill, who they gave that extra day off to, Jake got his day off yesterday.
Yeah.
He did not have a rehab start yesterday. So presumably got his day off and should return to the Padres lineup today for the opener to the 3-game series. It's a 5:40 first pitch today here on 97.3 The Fan. Sam Levitt with our EcoWater SoCal pregame show at 4:40 today. Just quickly, last night, if you missed it, Diamondbacks did beat the Dodgers 5-3. Was that a grand slam by Gabby Moreno?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Grand slam off Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who allowed all 5 runs, and Ketel Marte hit a solo shot. Dodgers rallied late, including a Shohei Ohtani home run, but it wasn't enough as the D-backs won the series opener, first of 4 in Arizona, 5-3. And then, of course, the Rockies were swept in the doubleheader by the Tigers, 10-2 and 11-1 to drop to 6-31 on the season. The Braves have started to get healthy.
Oh, boy.
They beat the Reds 5-4 in 11 innings. After their 0-7 start, they've climbed back to within a game of 500 and have only had one Spencer Strider start before he went on the IL with a hamstring strain. And Ronald Acuna Jr. is closing in on a return as well. So that's a dangerous team. The Phillies won 7-6. They rallied late to beat the Rays in 10 innings. They're a dangerous team. I mean, the National League is just so loaded. And when you get to the end of the year, there's going to be a couple of good teams that don't make the playoffs in the National League. Like legitimately good teams
with good seasons behind
that
them.
had a good season that aren't going to make the playoffs. And the fan base is going to be insane about it. And it's unavoidable. It could be the Phillies. It could be the Giants. It could be the Diamondbacks. It could be the Padres. It could be the Dodgers. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be something.
Wouldn't that be something?
But you gotta, it's why these series like this are amped up more. I mean, you got to stack 3 wins here. You do. You got to add 3 wins. Somebody just said in the chat, 2 wins is a failure. That's gonna be tough for me to stomach having that would be 3, 4, 6 and 3 road trip. I'll take a 750 road trip all day. Yeah, it sucks to even drop a game to that team.
That's 667, but that's fine.
What did I say?
750.
Oh yeah, I'm really
fine.
bad at math.
That's right.
667, still very good.
Very good.
You don't want that. Like 6 and 3 would be great. That's a dream road trip.
But it meant you lost a game to the Rockies, which would be bad.
Exactly. But if they come home 6 and 3, I will not be upset. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm sure everybody's got their vomit bag ready.
Don't Do This is coming up next. We started the story yesterday about Paul Pierce's walk to work.
Yes.
So I think we need to finish that one coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
Quickly, let me tell you guys about the wonder that is EcoWater. You hear it a lot on 97.3 The Fan, certainly. EcoWater pregame show. EcoWater is phenomenal. You need to get the unit in your home, and you can do that now. First of all, you got to get the free in-home water test. You have them come out, test your water. You'll be blown away at what you see. It is, it's pretty amazing. You're like, oh, this is what we've been cooking in and giving to our pets and our children. It's not great, guys. So check out EcoWater today. They've been keeping water soft since 1925. I will have the EcoWater system in my home for as long as they're in business, man. We will have it. We are absolutely in love with ours. So check it out with a reverse osmosis system. You get bottled quality water straight from your tap. They're alkaline filters, take hydration to the next level. We're very, very happy in our home with it. So you guys should try it too. Try the Soft Life and alkaline water now, just $9.95 a month, 760-350-3338, or go to ecowatersocal.com. Once again, 760-350-3338 or ecowatersocal.com. Let them know Woodsy sent you. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Don't do this on a Friday is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. Let's get through this efficiently because we got Darren Smith joining us at the bottom of the hour to talk a little SDFC. Get you updated. Talked about it during the show yesterday. The ridiculously, unfortunately wrong prediction that got Paul Pierce into a predicament when he said, if the Celtics lose game 2 at home, I promise you, I'm walking here tomorrow. I'm walking here. I'm walking 15 miles. I'm walking here in my robe, no shoes on, bare feet if the Celtics lose. Paulie played the audio yesterday. Well, of course, Celtics did lose game 2, blowing a 20-point lead to the New York Knicks. And when Paul Pierce finally Google mapped his walk from his home in the Valley to the Century City Fox Sports Studios, FS1 Studios, it's actually 20 miles. And he did it. It took 8 hours in his bathrobe and walked all the way through Los Angeles, through the streets, actually running into Kevin Garnett at some point.
I think Kevin Garnett saw what was happening. He goes, I'm going to go find this fool.
Drove by him.
Drove by. Made for a viral
climbed
moment.
out of the sunroof in his car. He's like, hey, what are you doing?
And he did follow through. He did it. And I guess the do this side part of the whole story is that now everyone seems to be aware that FS1 has some sort of studio show that talks basketball. Because I had no idea. I mean, they're not known as a basketball network at all. And I didn't even realize that Paul Pierce was working for FS1 until this week.
That's interesting.
Maybe it's the best promotion
he got fired from ESPN.
They've ever gotten. I had no idea he landed with FS1 and then was doing anything with them until this week. So maybe sneaky do this for Paul Pierce and the FS1 crew.
Man, there's nothing worse than hearing stories about a show that's coming out, right? And you're like, oh my God, this is right up my alley. I'm 100% on board. And I've been hearing about this new show on. Now, this is opinion. This is my opinion. This is how I feel. this new show that's coming out on Apple TV called Stick, and it's about a down and out alcoholic golfer that from what my understanding was is just trying to make his way back, which is an interesting story. I love a redemption story. Owen Wilson is the star of the show. So yesterday they released the trailer for Stick, and I was so excited. And then it started.
Hey, you're that golfer, aren't you? Bryce Cahill. Used to call you Stick, right?
Yep, that's me.
This guy was a big pro golfer on television, everything. 12th hole, big tourney. Sawgrass, I think, maybe like 2009. Shanks one into the lake and just melts down. Full psychotic break on live TV. It was insane. There was clubs in the water. I bet you can't even look at a club after a train wreck like that, right?
So it's Owen Wilson, and you heard the voice of Mark Maron. Mark Maron does a podcast called WTF. I enjoyed his podcast. I did. Talks a lot, and he has guests that I would like to listen to, but we were all guilty of that from time to time. Might be the worst actor I've ever seen. Potentially. Potentially.
You're already not a huge Owen Wilson fan either, are you?
I'm not a huge one, but I think
I'm okay with him.
He's okay, but I think like the with the right supporting cast. So what I didn't realize too is the premise of this movie, Ben, or this show, is essentially Happy Gilmore. It's a down and out golfer that hears a guy swing, or like Kingpin. No, I didn't see him throw that ball. I heard it. And he tries to mold this young kid with this dynamic swing into the next champion. And I went, all right, man, like we've done this before. There's not a lot of originality.
So I'm still kind of excited. First of all, the kid, I don't know who the actor is.
I don't either.
Has a beautiful golf swing.
He does.
So it looks real.
So here, I'll watch it. I'm still going to watch it. But man, Maron, like the opening scene was Maron, like, hey, you're that golfer, right? Like it's just.
And I saw Jim Nance in the trailer, which always helps me buy in a little bit with some real golf commentary.
Again, that's my opinion. I could love it. I didn't think Ted Lasso was going to be worth a flip when it came out, but I loved Sudeikis, and I was like, I'll give it a shot, and I fell in love with it, and it became a warm blanket for my entire life. I watched it over and over, and maybe this one will be good too, but man, first impression on it was not great.
Finally, quickly, do this.
DD Mega
also
doo-doo.
From the world of golf, and I love this story. So, of course, the Ryder Cup is coming to Bethpage Black in a couple of months. And people are getting excited about it. But I love what the PGA of America is doing. They have announced the People's Perk. They are going to be giving away 3,000 free tickets to the Ryder Cup and going to like local public golf courses in New York, like Bethpage and other courses in the New York area, and just surprising people. Hey, here's 2 tickets to the Ryder Cup.
I like that.
So they get that feeling of like some real grassroots golf fans and not just people who can afford, $300-$400 tickets to the Ryder Cup to really get that
that's great.
Screaming for Phil Mickelson and Team USA vibe that Bethpage Black had when they hosted the U.S. Open. They want that for the Ryder Cup, and they know, hey, one way to do it, it may cost us a little money, but let's get some real people in the golf course and get a real good atmosphere for it. And I thought that is a brilliant idea for the Ryder Cup
The
this year.
Happy Gilmore effect. Again, you want some of those lunatics out there with the double beer can helmets, and let's get
and
wild.
They should have some of that at the Ryder Cup this year. And that is don't and do this for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
You missed last week's conversation with Darren Smith.
I did. I feel like I missed a banger.
We talked
Gotta get an update on the
siestas,
nude
nude beaches.
Yeah, look, you know how when you go away, we all get one shot at bringing something back? I'm going to talk to him about the nude
Fair
beach.
enough.
Again, I'm sorry.
Fair
I
enough.
didn't get my fill.
He's still over there. I'm not sure what city he's in, but Darren will join us from Europe, talk a little SDFC and more. Coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Europe is a very long way away.
It is.
7 Mile Casino. Very, very close. It's just 7 minutes from downtown San Diego. Hop on the 5 freeway. Go south. When you get to Chula Vista, you will see on the west side of the freeway on Bay Boulevard, 7 Mile Casino. I'll be honest. Doesn't strike you from the outside
Correct.
as something that you're going to go, whatever. When you walk in, though, it strikes you as a very cool spot to play cards, Woods.
Very, very cool spot. Very clean. You don't feel like you're doing something wrong, right? You
My
don't feel like
worry
you're
was
in a-
I'd walk in. Oh, it's a little dingy.
dingy.
No,
It's
not at all.
It's bright. It's airy. It's fun. The food is spectacular. The people are great. And you sit down, play some California-style blackjack, some Texas Hold'em, some Pai Gow, some Baccarat. They got all the card games you love, not a slot machine place. Thank goodness for me. No cigarette smoke either. Really fun place. You can spend an hour there. You can spend 6 hours there.
Yeah, you think for food, what, they got a vending machine somewhere? They got Sammy's at 7 Miles. Sammy's Wood-Fired Pizza, great restaurant.
Rod wants to know, is the Kung Pao chicken any good at 7 Mile Casino?
You know, it actually is the best I have ever tasted. You can get it on the 24/7 players menu, which means any time of the day, 2 a.m. They've got that for you. Also, the weekend brunch tomorrow and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Best in the South County at 7 Mile Casino at Sammy's. Eat it on the patio. It's going to be warm and beautiful this weekend. What a great spot at 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
Talked about it earlier in the week, but really nice bounce back victory for SDFC last weekend after a 3-game losing streak. Really broke out the whooping stick with a 5-0 win. And now they are going back out on the road tomorrow when they visit St. Louis City SC and try to get some points on the road and keep the momentum going. We got Darren Smith standing by. He is still on his European holiday.
I love it.
And we'll get updated on that and talk a little more SDFC right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive through oil change. Well, eastbound 8's been misbehaving this morning. Now we got a stalled vehicle on the La Mesa Boulevard off-ramp and still clearing its crash from the transition ramp east 8 right at the southbound 125. Fortunately, other freeways in pretty good shape. Crash has cleared on southbound 15 before Miramar Road, so speeds are looking better there. San Diego, before you cruise out this Memorial Day, stop by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed, just 15 minutes, and your road trip ready. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, experts you can trust. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I've been following some of Darren's adventures in Spain on his Instagram feed, and I'm sure some people are excited about the soccer game and the beaches. I was intrigued by the paella making class. Now that looked spectacular. Good morning, or to you, good afternoon or evening, Darren.
Yes, good afternoon. Good morning to you guys. How's everybody doing there? Yes, we are now paella people. We almost bought a paella pan, which
That's serious.
Yeah. I'm sure we'd be put to good use. You know, that certainly wouldn't just sit on a shelf for the rest of the time. But yes, we have enjoyed ourselves. We've been eating and drinking and sightseeing and enjoying the culture here. And we've got just a handful of days left. Just got into Barcelona today. So took the train up from Valencia. It's great. It's efficient. It goes like 140 miles per hour. So it's all sorts of fun involved there, and we're looking forward to a good weekend here in town.
Man, that sounds spectacular. Now, we do a thing on our show, Darren. When one of us is out and, something happens, we get to pick our moment and re-bring it back up, even though they've already discussed it. Now, I understand when I was out last week, surprising my dad for his 70th, you went to a nude beach. I didn't get to hear the story. I did not go back and listen because I wanted my own fresh version. I cannot.
Well, he hadn't gone yet when we talked to him.
He had not gone.
Or no, he had gone.
No, he had gone.
He did go.
All right. Yeah. So I am fast. Ben wants to know about the paella. I want to know about the nude beaches, because when you're a kid and you hear that there are nude beaches, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to live at a nude beach. It's not the case. It's kind of like hanging out at the YMCA locker room, is my guess, which is never a great place.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Usually, you have, especially, it's Europe and it's Spain, and like everybody's attractive. The police. My wife and I, Leah and I, were talking about like when you see a cop movie or like a cop TV show, and you're like, no offense, like friends of mine are police officers, but most cops don't look like that.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
They look like that here.
Wow.
So you have this idea in your mind that even like the women have these beautiful ponytails. So you go to a nude beach, you're like, yeah, okay, wear the sunglasses, gonna have the shades on. And it's not exactly what you think. Now, I don't want to sound like a judgmental a-hole about it, but I mean, I think there's something to be said for people that feel free and liberated, and they just let it go, man. Like they just let it all out there. So I do appreciate it in terms of what you said about being a kid and having that image in your mind of, wanting to be around a bunch of sexy, attractive people. And, it's not. It's definitely not that. But we enjoed it.
You just let it flow, huh?
Talked about it.
You let it flow.
What's that?
You just let it flow. You just you went in Rome, I guess. You just let it let it eat.
Honestly, I didn't.
You did it.
Okay. I did not.
Okay.
No,
okay.
I went topless. Leah went topless.
She did. It's hot.
Yeah.
Super hot.
Darren, what's the mood?
Yeah, it was.
What's the mood like in Barcelona? Now, I'm not, again, I talked last week. I haven't been hugely into European soccer, but even I was captivated by the second leg of the Champions League match between Inter Milan and FC Barcelona that went down to the wire. I don't know if you saw this earlier in the week. It was 3-3, and then Barcelona finally took their first lead on the aggregate. Then Inter Milan came back and scored late in stoppage time. I mean, that's got to be as heartbreaking for soccer fans as it gets.
Yeah, I think so. That would have put them in the Champions League final, which is the Super Bowl for European soccer. It's all the European leagues all together, Germany, England, France, Spain, etc. So, that puts you in the Super Bowl, the final game. And to be that close, to be a couple of minutes away from going to that game, obviously it leaves you disappointed. But, there's no time. The whole reason that we're even on this trip is because what's happening on Sunday, which is Barcelona and Real Madrid. So, right now it's a 4-point lead for Barcelona. And a win against their arch rival, Real Madrid, 4 points back, pretty much hands them the trophy. So it was watching that in extra time. Like, it was such an emotional roller coaster match, Ben, like you said. I mean, it was so dramatic and late, and it's in the rain, and you're playing an extra 30 minutes. You hope that they didn't burn too much fuel, because this is another huge match. They can't go back and win in Champions League now, but they still can win the league title, which, this Sunday would be a huge foot forward in that, if they are able to beat their arch rival. So, it's a tricky thing, because you got to get over that disappointment real quick, because you got to be on the field Sunday at 4:15 here in Barcelona. It's supposed to rain. So it's going to be interesting to see just how much they have left in their legs to play on Sunday against the arch rival.
And this applies to SDFC, because for the first time, after playing, once a week, their first 11 games of their MLS.
Ooh, yeah.
They finally have one of these midweek games coming up where Mikey Varas has to manage some minutes and see how his team feels, because they play Saturday on the road, then they come back Wednesday at Snapdragon, and then again Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. And that's the reality of soccer, that you're not always going to be at your freshest or best when you take the pitch, Darren.
Yeah, they got 3 games in 10 days.
Yeah, 8 days, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and again, with the trip to St. Louis, this week, and then at least you're back home, and you're right. And 3 in a week is tough. And one of the things that's unique to SDFC and to Mikey is this is the only team in Major League Soccer that has used all of its substitutes in every game. You're allowed 5 substitutes in a soccer match, and SDFC is the only team to have used all 5 in every game through 11 match days thus far. And Mikey said earlier, hey, we want to have a big squad. Some coaches don't like that. Some coaches only want to put 2-3 other players in as substitutes. Mikey has said we want to have a big squad. And I don't know if he was looking at this, at the congestion on the schedule, when you have to start playing in midweek, and then you have to start playing, Ben, some of those other tournaments that we talked about last week. But I think it's been an interesting strategic approach, especially for an expansion club, to want to play as many players as possible. And obviously that's going to help you with a little bit of freshness in your legs. Some coaches just don't trust it. They just don't trust, like, if you're my 5th sub, are you really good enough? So, that's not been him. Like, he wants to get everybody involved, as many players involved as possible. And I think, this is a week that you look at and you say, St. Louis, yeah, it's a 3-match losing streak away for San Diego. They can be beaten. It's a rematch of the inaugural match at Snapdragon Stadium. They don't score at all. They can't score, St. Louis. They've only scored 8 goals all year. Back home in your building against an opponent that you just saw, and then next Saturday, this is kind of how you manage the minutes. And I think early on, this is something that Mikey has done. Is he's really done a good job of getting players in and out of there, so everybody has experience.
And it was so funny talking to Darren Smith here on Ben and Woods, because after the losses, people were like, Mikey Varas needs to change everything about this team, needs to change the offense, they just can't keep playing in this place. What do? They go out and throw 5 goals up. And I'm watching that game when I was in Texas going, all right, this is a laugher. Like, it was such a nice feeling to have a laugher, and got to feel a little bit vindicating for Mikey Varas to be like, see, sometimes you do just have to stick to your process.
Yeah, and I think one of the words that I saw, from our friend John Gennaro was like, oh, they fixed something, and I said, I don't know that anything really needed to be fixed, like there was nothing that was broken, and Ben and I talked a little bit about this last week. It still felt like Chucky was going to erupt at some point. Boom, like he has the best performance of anybody in MLS. He was named the MLS Player of the Week. So, he was on the verge of doing something. And the 3 losses, were all sort of these unique, different circumstantial ecosystems. Like there was really nothing tying them all together. So, I think if you were to just go out there, think about Mike Schilt. Think about if you're just going to go change things, right? Recently, I saw Mike Schilt. AC had a good piece about, how Schilt is so process oriented.
Yeah.
And if you do things dramatically differently, like what is the point? Like what is the message for a young club 9 matches in that you're going to start making dramatic changes?
Panic
It's like, oh
moves.
yeah, forget all that other stuff. Like you don't do that sort of thing if you're going to preach consistency. So I'm glad they stuck to their guns and they did a couple tactical things, but it was just enough to give them the performance of the season so far. So it was great to see.
Talking to Darren Smith, joins us each week, one of the voices of SDFC, but he's also got good Padres insight, of course, talking about the team for years. And since you brought up Mike Schilt, we had the discussion this week, Darren, when Mike Schilt arrived, I wasn't totally sure what to believe. I didn't know if he was putting on an act with all the positivity and just, but as we've gone
You might
through,
think I'm nuts.
as we've gone through now a season plus and the Papa Bear routine that he puts on, I've come to realize it's not an act. It's who he is. And I think it's why he's been successful as a manager. What's your overarching take on Mike Schilt?
Yeah, I mean, I was with you when he got hired. I thought he was fine. I wasn't, ready to throw a parade, but I thought he was a perfectly fine and adequate manager. And I don't mean that doesn't need to be criticism. It's just he's fine. And I think he's he's interesting. He's got an interesting edge to him. He's got a dynamic. I think he's got some some
red ass
protocols to him that are just different. About wanting to not have players get ejected. Like I'll be the one that gets ejected. So there's a lot of little phrases you can tell. Like being in the Cardinal system for a long time, obviously had a big impact on him. Yeah, and I'm with you. I mean, I think he's probably better than what I had thought when he walked through the door. I think he's a guy that can help you get to the place you want to get to. I'm with you on that. I think I like some of the stuff that he says about being process oriented and all that sort of thing. So, I'm a fan. I'm like you. I really evolved on Mike. I was never against it. I just thought it was okay. I thought it was a perfectly logical choice, and it's up to the stars on the team anyway. But I think he's got some interesting. He's an interesting guy to listen to.
He is. I mean, he's an interesting guy to talk to. You kind of don't know. You could grab him after a 6-0 win, and he might be a little bit surly, right? And then you get him after a 12-3 loss, and he's like, "Hey, no big deal, buddy. How are you?" Like it's pretty wild. He does not ride that roller coaster of emotion like I think obviously fans do, but I think maybe even some managers do to a certain extent. And like you said, it's up to the stars. It's not only up to the stars to perform, but it's also up to them to buy in. And you saw the quotes after he got run the other night. I mean, those guys are like, "We'll go to war for Shilty. We'll run through a wall for Shilty. This guy's unbelievable." I mean, to get those guys, of all guys, to buy in 100%, that in and of itself, he may have some issues from time to time at managing bullpens like every single manager does. No one is infallible. To get those guys to buy in 162, that it deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, and I mean the ejection stuff is interesting. I've actually spent a lot of time on that this week. Just because I do think it's funny that the team was so motivated by that ejection.
Yeah.
That Luis Arraez walked, so like for the 6th time this year. And Manny Machado has 375 career doubles, like hit a double in the gap.
Right.
We all understand the dance, right? There's
Sure.
the questions afterwards about, hey, did that fire the team up? Yeah, okay, I get, yeah, fire the team up. Yeah, of course it did. But that's not even that. I think it's everything else that you see too. It's just like the team has it's often said like teams take on the personality of their coach or the manager. And I think that's the thing you notice most is, that they do seem to have that resolve, that Mike Schultz seems to have. I think that's probably a word that stands out to me about him. And these are a bunch of guys that are really accomplished. Like, these are big name people making tons of money. So, I do think that they have adopted a little bit of that personality and for the better, I think, for the Pods.
Is this the last week in Europe, or how much time do you got left?
Well, if you ask my wife, just probably never going back. But yes, we will be back on Wednesday. We do have a flight on Wednesday of next week. So we will be home in time for SDFC's midweek match and then the away match or the Saturday match, I should say. But we're going to be in Barcelona for 3 days. Barcelona, Real Madrid on Sunday, and then we go to this little town a little bit north of here called Girona, Girona, Girona. And we spent a couple of days there, and then we're back and we fly home. The long transatlantic flight on Wednesday, with or without our paella pan.
Bring that pan home, and just as a memento, I will be attending my first SDFC game on the 17th. Very excited, taking the whole fam. Couple of the kids on my baseball team and their parents as well. We're going to do it up.
Nice.
I'm really excited. Pick the night game.
What date?
The 17th.
Sporting Kansas City in town. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's actually kids' night, so not a smart move on my behalf, but I wanted to make sure it was a night game.
Kids' night after Woods' kids' bedtime. Actually,
way after. Yeah. We'll be there.
I got confused because I'm looking at the schedule and it says the 18th here, obviously. Right after midnight. In Spain. So that's been tough, man. Like, trying to catch these Padres games in the middle of the night and trying to catch some of these NBA games. The U.S. sports aren't built for the European mind.
The European mind cannot handle U.S. sports. I get it, man. Thank you so much, D.
Yeah.
Safe travels home. We'll talk to you next week.
Go Knicks.
Yeah, baby.
Darren Smith, SDFC broadcaster, and safe travels back from my Girona next week in Spain. I do love a big old English D. Smith as well when he joins the program. Let's see. We got 2 hours still to go here on a Friday, including FRIAR Friday, which means up next, a little early, we will be joined by the CEO of the San Diego Padres, Erik Greupner, getting ready for a big homestand coming up. They got the reversible bucket hat night. They got the first ever Vetter Cup against the Seattle Mariners, who, by the way, looking like they've got a pretty good team this year as well. They've been waiting, and this might finally be the year that they break through.
Tough squad.
Should be an interesting homestand coming up. We'll talk about the past week and what's coming up for the San Diego Padres with Erik Greupner up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Friday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Great to be here with you. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. And, of course, Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor and the smoothest operator in the business as it pertains to transitioning from segment to segment. Somebody just gave you those props in the chat. I wanted to give you those props as well. The segue master.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, let's see it in action.
All right, joining us right now, we're just going to go the direct route. It's FRIAR Friday, and Erik Greupner is the CEO of the Padres and joins us right now on 97.3 The Fan, one of my least smooth segues ever, but still good to welcome Erik to the program. Good morning, Erik.
Hey, Ben and Steven, how are you guys?
Doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Do you do the new, like, how many trips a year do you go on as the CEO?
Great question. That's one of the most common questions I actually get asked when, meeting somebody and they find out what I do for a living. So I would say I am probably on at least half the road trip.
Wow. Okay.
More than I thought.
Oh, yeah. I was in New York. Had to come back a little early for an event back here, but I was actually in Miami for the F1 race the weekend before. So I was not in Pittsburgh. But I do try to get out on the road and see other venues, other events. There's always things that we can learn from other teams and other venues. So I try to do a little bit of both when I'm on the road. And then, we have a lot of corporate sponsorship partners in New York and Chicago and other cities that we travel to. And then just, continuing to build relationships throughout the league when we travel is an important part of the job. And then, being there with the team and everything that we do around playing baseball games. So, yeah, I'd say about half the road trips.
Well, it's too bad you didn't go to Pittsburgh because you could have learned a lot about what not to do. Like, don't cover up Tony Gwynn's number.
Right.
Don't wreck all those bricks. I've got a brick out there. You better not wreck it and throw it in a dump. You see that stuff around the league, Erik, and it's, we're blessed to have and have had good ownership here, committed ownership. Certainly makes your job a lot easier. Not that it's easy by any stretch, but it makes it a lot easier. I do feel for a lot of these teams in Major League Baseball. And, of course, I feel for the fan bases in Pittsburgh and, Colorado, where we're heading next. It's kind of a tough look sometimes.
Yeah, I think fundamentally fans want to know that they have ownership and a team that's committed to trying to win and trying to win a championship. I mean, that's the business that we're in. And so I know a lot of other teams have reasons why for a period of time, they may be building for the future, trying to build their farm system and like the Orioles have sort of done effectively, try to create a critical mass of talent that comes up to the big league level that's under team control for a lot of years. And you build a core and you make some signings around that. So there's, a lot of different strategies that different teams pursue over time, but the years when fans don't feel like you are a winning team or a team that can compete for a championship are tough years to navigate. And yeah, I do feel for the fans and, in some of those cities where I think probably the fans don't feel like their team has a legitimate chance from day one to win. And I think the commissioner and others have also talked about how as a game and as a league, we do need to try to create as much competitive balance and parity across the league, because ideally you'd go into the season with 30 fan bases and 30 markets all feeling like, as they do in some other major professional sports, that they've got a legitimate shot to win a championship or may only be a year away from being competitive for a championship. And I think that's a good sign of health for a league. And, I think something that we could be better at as a league than we are right now.
So I do want to know what the internal buzz, your front office colleagues after Mike Shilt's ejection on Monday night in New York and how the team responded to that with maybe the most dramatic win of the season.
Yeah, so I was in New York and spent a little time with Mike and AJ in Mike's visiting manager office after that happened. And after we got that snatchback win, which was great and exciting, and unfortunately just came up a little short. I mean, not a little short in the second game, but a little short in the third game. And our bullpen, which has been so good all year, really the best in Major League Baseball, had a couple of games where they didn't hold leads, and I expect we're going to get back to the bullpen that we've seen up to that point. But yeah, it was a great win. I think Mike is committed as a leader to his players. I think I heard you guys chatting a bit about that the other day.
Yeah.
And, he's very much a player-focused manager and tries to cultivate an environment and a culture in the clubhouse where the players feel like he has their back, and ultimately he's there to try to help support and guide their success and the collective success as a team. And I think that was a good example of Mike doing exactly that. I know we all probably have watched the John Boy breakdown of that. The guy does an amazing job of
So
lip
good.
reading. I hope I'm never caught on camera,
100%.
saying anything, because he's gonna nail it. But yeah, I think what came through in that dialogue was, Mike does try to be respectful of umpires, respectful of the game, and run a clean dugout and a dugout that's not constantly chirping, which starts to become counterproductive. But clearly he felt like things weren't handled the way that they should have been handled. And when Mike gets fired up, as you guys know, you're going to hear about it. And I think we got to see that on full display. It was a bit of a yard sale, right? The paper, then the pens, then the glasses. And so I told him I thought he had a little Earl Weaver in him when I saw him after the game, and he laughed about that.
It was fantastic. We're joined by CEO of the San Diego Padres, Erik Greupner, here on Ben and Woods this morning. The thing that irks me, it probably irks you too, and probably irks everybody in the organization. I think I saw after the series in New York, it was a national writer. They all run together. Morosi, Nightingale, Heyman. One of them, hey, Michael King, free agent potentially after this year. Could a return to the Bronx be imminent? And, you see what Michael King's done in a Padres uniform. You see what kind of person he is. You know him. He's just the greatest guy. I mean, when you guys look at that, and I know this isn't necessarily your department, Erik, but does that irk you as well? That a lot of the teams are still looking to kind of rob the Padres or maybe come after one of our guys. And how confident do you feel about bringing a guy like Michael King back next season?
Yeah, we're focused right now on trying to win a World Series championship this year. And, we've got a number of players that are coming into their last year of club control this year, and Michael's one of them. And Michael's been outstanding for us. I think he's a big piece of the Soto trade that came back that continues to benefit us. And you said it. I mean, he's just as good of a pitcher as he is. He's an even better, individual. And have really enjoyed getting to know him, his wife, Sheila. And, he's got a really bright future in our game. And I hope he continues to wear the Padres uniform after this year. But that's going to be one of, a lot of decisions that are going to be there for us in the off season. But I mean, look, I think it's a testament to the fact that we've got a lot of great players on this team, some of whom are going to go into free agency next year that are going to be really attractive to other teams. And it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I think it just proves the point that, we've remained committed to putting together a team that's capable of winning a World Series championship. And the only way you do that is by having a lot of players that are really attractive to other teams. And if you can do that, you're probably doing it right. And I think Michael's one of them. But it's, he deserved better, obviously, in his start in New York. He pitched a great game. And once again, our bullpen has been lights out and kind of had a uncharacteristic, night or two there. But yeah, I mean, he's a big game pitcher. I think you've seen that in the postseason. You saw that him going back kind of home for him, having grown up on the East Coast and having been in the Yankee system. And that's an intangible quality for pitchers that is hard to overestimate, just because you need those guys in October to step up and pitch big games in big moments, and Michael has the ability to do that.
Well, 10 games above 500 is terrific, but even better when you think did a lot of that with Jackson Merrill on the injured list. I'm sure it was great to see him back. I mean, what a kid. He's 22 years old, and I mean, the Padres have really seemingly struck gold with Jackson Merrill. So excited, obviously, about the extension earlier, and now not official, but expecting Jake Cronenworth back, but potentially as soon as today. That's a big lift for the team this week.
Yeah, huge lift. I think to your point, we've been able to weather the storm. We had a lot of injuries that all kind of hit us in quick succession, and now to have those guys coming back, and Jackson Merrill continues to just do nothing but impress. To have been, on the IL as long as he was, rehabbing a hamstring, which can always be tricky with the soft tissue injuries, and then to come back and absolutely pick up where he left off. And I think we're hoping and expecting to see that from Jake Cronenworth, who's a pro, and I think he's going to come back and have a big impact right away. And then we got some really good news on Darvish yesterday. He threw several innings in Arizona and looked really good. And so a little bit of a discussion internally right now whether he needs a rehab start or if he's ready to just come right back, which would bring him back a little bit sooner. So, I think having these key pieces get healthy and come back and pick up for many of them at an all-star level, including Luis Ariz, is a huge jolt. And we're going to need all of it. I mean, the NL West is an absolute gauntlet this year. You've got 4 teams essentially competing realistically for at most 3 playoff spots, if both wild cards were to come from the NL West. And it's going to be a battle I think, till the last day of the season between the Dodgers, the Giants, the Diamondbacks, and us. And we're starting to face a lot of those teams, including the Dodgers here coming up. And so to be at full strength is going to be a good thing. And hopefully we can continue to avoid additional injuries and get all these guys back.
Yeah, no doubt. Been a really fun team to watch. Erik, talking to Erik Greupner here on Ben and Woods this morning. And the fans certainly have had fun watching. They're packing Petco Park on a nightly basis, actually on a daily basis. They're coming out in droves during the day, which is just insane to me. I love it. This has really become, people are really invested in this team and really honestly living and dying every day, which you can't do. I've learned that in my time doing this. It is a long season, certainly, but got to be encouraged about the fan support that you're getting from the FRIAR faithful out there.
Yeah, we continue to just be so incredibly grateful for our fans, the way that they've shown up, continue to show up and support this team. We're currently number 2 in attendance in baseball, behind only a team that shall go unnamed to the north of us that has about 12,000 more seats in their ballpark than we do. And so we couldn't ask more from our fans, and they're clearly engaged, as you mentioned, and excited about this team, excited about the potential of what this team can continue to accomplish into the postseason. And it's Petco Park's just a great environment. It's rocking, as you said, every night, every day. We're averaging over 42,000 fans a game, which is, already on a pace that surpasses where we were at last year. And last year we set, a new franchise record for attendance, which we had, set the year before. So we're in a really good spot right now in terms of just how amazing our fans are, the support that they're providing for this team, and just how much fun they're having when they come to the ballpark, which is great. And with the new the next homestand after this road trip coming up, we've got a couple of pretty fun things for the fans. We've got a bucket hat giveaway. It's a reversible bucket hat.
That looks so good in it. So good.
Yeah, I still wear my Joe Musgrove one.
It was made for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be on Wednesday, May 14th. So you can come out and watch us play the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and pick up that reversible bucket hat. And then we're going to kick off formally the Vetter Cup against the Mariners with a 3-game series. It's dubbed as a rivalry weekend. And, we're doing that in partnership with Eddie Vedder. There's going to be a really cool traveling trophy, which is one of his guitars that he's specially designing for this Vetter Cup between us and the Mariners. And also going to be doing some good by supporting a charity that Eddie and his wife Jill have supported for years, which focuses on a pretty rare skin disease that they're trying to discover treatments for. It's called EB. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. We'll just go with EB. But yeah, EB. So going to do some good along the way and kind of create a really, I think, unique and fun rivalry theme between us and Seattle that our fans had started informally years ago. Eddie grew up in San Diego, went to San Diego Academy, and then obviously, hit his big career trajectory up in Seattle with the grunge rock movement and Pearl Jam. So we're going to see who owns Eddie Vedder from a baseball perspective here after we get done playing the 6 games between us and the Mariners. And you may ask, those 6 games, what do you do if there's a tie? We're actually going to go to run differential, and if that doesn't determine it, we're going to go to exit velocity.
Wow.
Which is an idea to tie it to EV, Eddie Vedder, so average exit velocity from the two teams over those 6 games.
Not EB, EV. Okay.
EV.
Yeah, it's right. We got EBs, we got EVs.
To benefit
it's
EB.
exit velocity.
And we got EJ tonight.
Yeah, are you going to see Lord Elton tonight?
I am going to see Lord Elton tonight. Yeah, Sir Elton John.
Sir, I'm sorry. Yes, Sir Elton.
No, yeah, you're good. He may be a Lord as well.
He
I don't
could
know.
be.
But yeah, he's going to be playing the ballpark tonight. If anybody's still looking for a ticket, they are available. That's also for a great cause. Portion of the proceeds are going to be benefiting Curebound, formerly Padres Pedal the Cause, which is a great charity that's been raising millions of dollars every year that go directly into local cancer research, trying to find a cure for cancer. So if you want to come enjoy some great music and see an Elton John show and also support cancer research here in San Diego, come down to Petco Park tonight for the concert, and it's going to be a good time.
All right. If you see Mrs. Woods and her friends tonight, no, you didn't, because I think they're going to be it's Mother's Day weekend. They're going to be cutting loose. So just kind of turn the other way and don't hold me responsible for her actions, Erik. All right. I'm not responsible for what she and her girls do tonight at Petco Park.
You're right.
All right.
Because I'm sure it would be so much better if you were there.
If it was just me and my crew. I'm pretty well behaved inside. I kind of look at it as a place of business.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Elton John song, Erik?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I have a lot of favorite Elton John songs, actually. It's pretty cool when you start to listen to his musical catalog. You realize how many hits that guy has.
Yeah.
It's really unbelievable. But I think Someone Saved My Life Tonight.
Yeah,
you know, it's that's a song that I've always really enjoyed. But yeah, it should be a great show tonight. He's played the ballpark a few times before, and he always puts on a great show.
Thank you, Erik, very much.
Thank
Good
you,
luck
buddy.
to the Padres this weekend in Colorado.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks,
Take
man.
care.
Erik Greupner, CEO of the Padres. I'm a Goodbye Yellow Brick Road guy.
I'm a Daniel guy and a Rocket Man guy. I'm not a I'm not a Candle in the Wind guy.
We know.
Marilyn was found in
either
the
version.
any versions whatsoever.
Your song, probably my favorite.
Your song is beautiful.
That is that's a good
beautiful.
That is
Saturday
a good
Night's
one.
All Right for Fighting.
Yeah,
It's great. It's great. But,
Friday night's all right.
Yeah, Friday night, Hannah. Be careful out there tonight. No fist fights, please. Still is a place of business, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, we did have some news. Did you catch it? If you
Yeah,
missed
caught
it,
it.
we will rehash the news that Erik Greupner shared on your San Diego Padres after a quick check of traffic. More Ben and Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports
Goodbye,
station.
Tier 1s.
97.3 The Fan.
Back after
commercials.
were found in the nude.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul.
Have we just been Russified?
You have just been Russified.
Thank you.
I love that band.
Thanks again to
Today's Tom Sayi.
Today's Tom Sayi.
Thanks again to Padres CEO Erik Greupner, who not only joined us and talked about the upcoming homestand and the road trip and his visit to New York and Elton John, but shared with some actual news with 97.3 The Fan listeners. So
we got some really good news on you, Darvish, yesterday.
Ooh.
He threw several innings in Arizona and looked really good. And so a little bit of a discussion internally right now whether he needs a rehab start or if he's ready to just come right back, which would bring him back a little bit sooner.
See, okay, so yeah, we knew that you was going to throw in Peoria yesterday. It was an up and down session against live batters. I think 3 innings was the plan. Erik said, obviously it went well, maybe even better than they hoped, because the speculation, at least, was the next step for you, Darvish, would likely be 1 or 2 minor league rehab starts, stretch him out a little bit, and then possibly be ready for a return to the big leagues by the end of May.
Yeah.
At least internally, Erik says that they may just skip that step, which would mean Possibly, maybe one more session just to get a few more pitches under his belt, and then he could be back in, I don't know, maybe as little as 10 days or so.
Sure.
I mean, that's at least what I got from that comment from Erik Greupner. Now, they may decide, we still want to send him down for a start just to get him comfortable again. But the discussion at least is there about a sooner than later return for Yu Darvish.
I would look forward to that very much. I am a big Yu Darvish fan.
Well, you get Yu Darvish back. That's huge, clearly. Experienced pitcher like that, effective. But when you have a King, Cease, Darvish, Pivetta rotation, it gives you some flexibility there, and it gives you some competition there. Randy Vasquez right now is, by default, he's got to be pitching every fifth day for the Padres. That would no longer be the case. If it's Stephen Kolek is the guy who's throwing well, he may be your fifth starter. If Kyle Hart comes back and he's looking good, you could have him in the mix. You could have an Omar Cruz, some young guys. You can truly make that into, hey, who gives us the best chance to win on this fifth day? And you don't have to stick with anybody as your fifth starter as long as you've got those four guys who all are, potential, number one, number two guys in Major League Baseball right now. As you're 1 through 4, that's an incredible way to start any series.
Yeah, and again, it's baseball unfortunately sometimes has a way of making decisions for you. So you want to get as many guys in the stable as you can, Ben. And if somebody goes down, great. Then you have somebody else to step in that has some experience in starting, like a Kolek, like a Vasquez. But ultimately, it's a great thing if Yu Darvish comes back. Ultimately, a great thing for the San Diego Padres. You need as many horses in the stable as you can have. So I love the man. I want to see him pitch again, and I want to see him pitch well.
You got a picture of him right behind you.
We
you
sure
can say
do.
hi to him.
Sweet
right
angel.
there.
I love that dude.
Yu Darvish, always looking over your shoulder. every morning.
One of the kindest men I've ever met. He's as kind as can be.
Yes, he's a gentleman.
Yes.
And it'll be nice when he returns to the mound for the San Diego Padres. All right, at the bottom of the hour, we didn't really get to kind of reset everything because of Erik Greupner's 8 o'clock visit. So why don't we do a restart when we come back?
Well, so we'll push take
on Woods, yeah,
and we'll push take on Woods, obviously, because it was a little short segment, so we can play that as well. Do you want people to call in now, or do you want to do it at 8:50?
Yeah, we'll hold off for a few minutes.
All right, well, we'll get. Well, you don't have to dial up yet. We'll let you know when to call in for Take on Woods, and then we still have an hour and a half left of Ben and Woods on a Friday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Quickly, gang, it is Woodsy for Loan Pronto. If you're a homeowner right now and you're stressed about money, keeping you up at night, finances are a little tough. You've run up those credit cards, which happens, man. The monthly payment not making a dent. Time to call Loan Pronto today. If you do own a home, you got an easy way to get tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash out of your home's equity. They've got a ton of options for helping you tap into. All you got to do is call them and or go to the website, loanpronto.com. They will help you get the cash you need to get back on solid footing. Most homeowners who end up doing this end up wiping out their credit card debt, cutting their monthly expenses by about $1,000. And again, no shame in it, man. Didn't mean to end up here. You don't have to keep stressing about money. Call Loan Pronto today for fast debt relief using the equity in your home that you've earned. 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. They can handle everything for you. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
The old Ben and Woods reset, the hard reset. Just spent 2 hours arguing about Rafael Devers or the bullpen or whatever it is, and then we reset. But the group dog came in, grabbed the 8 o'clock slot, so we'll reset here. Ben and Woods 97.3 The Fan. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. You guys are amazing. Happy Mother's Day to my wife, Hannah, and of course my mom, Marcia, who is just the ultimate warrior, just a beast.
I think we do this every year on this day.
Yeah.
Is it more Marcia's weekend or Hannah's weekend? Like, I don't have kids, but instinct tells me when you have children and you're married, it becomes your wife's day.
Correct.
More than your mom's day. And I think maybe the mom probably recognizes that.
Yeah, my mom gets it.
Right?
100%. 100%. That's how it
Or
goes.
do you just say, well, Hannah's not my mom.
Yeah, that would go.
Mom.
I think that'd go over really well.
You should try that. And
this
let me know.
weekend. Just say, what's the big deal? You're not my mom. Bo and Taylor are supposed to be celebrating, are they not?
I got my own mom to celebrate.
I would celebrate my mom, Marcia. How would that go? Not great.
Unfortunately, we may not make it to Mother's Day because of this story that I just saw.
Right?
Yeah. Are you worried about this? So
No.
I just read this. In 1972, the Soviet Union launched a spacecraft that was intended to make it to Venus, but it never got there. It's 1,000 pounds, half-ton titanium spacecraft. And apparently, it's going to fall back to Earth sometime tomorrow. And they don't know where. It's impossible.
What do you mean they don't know
It's
where?
impossible to
How do they not
predict at
know?
this point. It's going to come down somewhere and crash into the Earth. Now, the astronomers who are in charge say the odds are infinitesimally small that it will hit a populated area, but it could come right down into downtown San Diego or Manhattan. It just is the luck of the draw at this point.
Now, land on your house.
It could land on your house.
Cool.
More than likely, it'll come down in water because the Earth is covered mostly in water, or in an unpopulated, desolate region like the Sahara Desert or Siberia or something.
Why would you think it just automatically would come down in a desolate area? Why wouldn't it
Because
drop down in Cleveland?
Because there's way more desolate areas than populated areas. It's simply,
math.
It's just the math of the situation. But that's the only thing they're relying on because the batteries are long dead. The parachutes are expected to be useless. This thing is
coming in hot.
This thing is coming in hot at hundreds of miles an hour.
Oh, God.
And some of it will burn up. They think it's titanium. Probably most of it's going to make it all the way to the ground
Now,
tomorrow.
Chris said it could be the size of a tennis ball when it reaches.
It depends on how much burns up, but it's titanium, so it's designed to withstand some of that.
El Carlos says, "I've seen enough movies to know it's falling in New York." Yeah, no doubt. You are absolutely right. Huh. I wasn't worried about it. Now I'm a little worried. I'm going to be kind of looking up.
Just a hair. I mean, just a little bit. Spherical in shape, 3 feet across. So it's small, but packing more than 1,000 pounds. That's a heavy 3 feet across.
Gonna shoot it down or something? Again, I've also seen
Armageddon.
movies. Yes.
Yeah. Or Deep Impact.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day, everyone. Don't look up or look up.
Happy Friday news from Ben, says Go Aztecs.
That was pretty depressing.
So I just saw that and was like, I mean, I guess keep an eye out in the sky just in case tomorrow.
I'm trying to think where I would want it to land. In the ocean, but then it's in the ocean.
It's just like 3 feet across. It's not huge. It just would
true.
do a lot of damage if it hit something.
What would it do if it hit
by
the
a
ocean?
truck? hit by a Soviet spacecraft? Hit by a truck? Call the Barnes firm.
Hit by a truck.
1-800-8
Lit on fire. Kicked in the nut. What got into you?
Strangled to death.
God. Beaten by a baseball bat.
Hit by a truck.
Hit by a truck. You channeled your inner hacksaw so hard.
It does sound like
Club
that.
Pilates.
Hit by a truck.
The best Pilates to ever. Pilates is club. Pilates. Hit by a truck. Are you a fat F? Get to club.
Hey, Jay, this is Hacksaw.
Get to Club Pilates right away if you are a fat F. It's incredible.
Right now, today, we're offering you 5 classes for $50 at Club Pilates, San Diego's premier Pilates studio. Club Pilates offers the most Pilates classes and reformer classes in San Diego.
Yeah.
Conveniently located off Marina Boulevard, right in the heart of San Diego.
That's right. It would be like somebody handing me a copy for Lone Pronto, and I pronounce it Loan Pronto.
7 times.
Check out Loan Pronto for the best Loans that you can find. Loan Pronto.
Hit by a truck.
Hit by a truck. Good Lord. It is so, so good. Yeah, what if the satellite hits Club Pilates? I hope they are all cleared out.
Maybe it'll hit Coors Field. It'd take.
Oh, I hope not. The guys are in there, man.
Well, if it happened during a non-game time, the Padres have never done well there. So,
Rod says, "Can I send my mother-in-law in to soften the impact?" Rod, good
Jesus
Lord,
God.
man. Club Pilates, hit by a truck. Good, brilliant. We going to take on Woods here?
We'll need a
Should a little
contestant,
bit-
but
need a
yeah,
contestant?
we can. You can call in right now 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Want to play our musical trivia challenge and try to qualify for the trip to Las Vegas and the tickets to Bruno Mars. Dial us up now. We'll check traffic, and then we'll play our game coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. The roads are winding down pretty nicely around the county. Just one thing to mention here, traveling on southbound 805, right past the 8, we have reports of a stalled car in the center divide. San Diego, before you cruise out this Memorial Day, stop by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed, just 15 minutes and your road trip ready. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, experts you can trust. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, the calls are coming in. While we try to figure out who's going to be our contestant, I will tell you that today's game of Take on Woods is brought to you by Bay Alarm Security and Fire Alarms for every business. We got you. Woods has left the studio, so I can go with any of these, Paulie?
Yeah, I tried to pull one and I could not hear him.
Oh, all right. I'm going with line 4 today. Caller, who's this?
Hello. Is this Richard?
Oh, there it was. Are you still there?
I am.
All right. Who's this?
This is Richard.
All right, Richard, you calling in for Take on Woods?
I'll try.
All righty. That doesn't sound like you have a tremendous amount of
I like the
confidence,
confidence,
but hey,
Richard.
you know what? Anything can happen in this game. 5 questions of musical trivia. If you can beat or tie Woods, you will qualify for the grand prize drawing trip to Las Vegas to see Bruno Mars in concert at the Dolby Live at Park MGM September 3rd. 2 nights at the Park MGM and a $100 gift card. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. You have the advantage of picking our category and knowing the topic beforehand. Your choices are all aboard. You can tell that is a train-related category. Pop Fly. That is a 2-second song category with the word fly in every answer. And V is for victory. 5 bands whose names all begin with the letter V. So, all aboard, Pop Fly, or V is for victory. Richard, what would you like to play?
Let's go, Pop Fly.
Pop Fly. All right, we got 2-second songs again. I think we did this on Wednesday. So it is 60 seconds. You will have 5 different songs. To score a point, you need to identify both the song title and the artist. And if you don't know, you can pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. But again, all 5 song titles will include the word fly. I think this one's doable, but it's also doable for Woods. So keep that in mind, Richard. Paulie, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, Richard, you ready to play?
As ready as I am.
All right, put your turn up your phone or volume or whatever. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paulie plays our first song, the category Pop Fly. Good luck, Richard. Let's take on Woods.
Oh, pass.
Song number 2.
Oh, God. Oh, blank's gone right now. Pass.
Song number 3.
Getaway. Oh, gosh.
Remember the category.
Fly. Oh, gosh. Oh, I'm drawing blanks.
Song number 4.
You got me on this one. You got me again,
They're
man.
getting tougher. Song number 5.
You got me at the wrong song. Fly for a white guy, Offspring.
Yes!
I didn't get that one.
Go back to number 1. I already got one.
It's got the word fly in it.
Starts with the word fly. I don't know that anyone's ever gotten question number 5 and none of the other 4.
Yeah.
But you did get Pretty Fly for a White Guy by The Offspring.
Unfortunately, Richard, I'm pretty
The
confident.
rest of them you didn't do. Why don't we just let Woods come in and play, and then we'll
get 5
I
of
think
them.
he's going to get all 5. I really do, Richard. Thank you for playing.
Never know.
Never know. He doesn't get the category. I don't want to put any pressure on you. I think you're going to go 5 for 5 today.
Good.
So keep that in mind. 60 seconds on the clock. It's all 2-second songs as well.
All right.
Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Richard.
That's Steve Miller Band. Time keeps on slipping into the future. What's the name of the song?
Maybe you should pass.
All right, pass.
Song number 2.
That's Learn to Fly by Foo Fighters.
Correct.
And that Steve Miller was Fly Like an Eagle.
Correct. Song number 3.
That's Fly Away Lenny Kravitz.
Song number 4.
That's Fly By Night, Rush.
And song number 5.
Def Leppard. Wait.
No, that's incorrect. I have to take the first answer.
Oh, you're right.
It is not Def Leppard.
It is.
Who is it now?
I don't know.
It's The Offspring.
Oh, it's also Def Leppard.
Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
Damn it.
4 is a win.
From a Def Leppard song.
Actually, it's funny. Richard only got that one.
What?
That's the only one he got was that one. It's the only one you missed of the 4 in the category Pop Fly.
All right, people are laughing at me saying it's not Def Leppard. It is. It's So that's that. Now look up Def Leppard.
Woods knows a lot. I trust his knowledge here. That is the start of Pretty Fly for a White Guy, though.
But hang on. I got something to say. It's better to burn out than fade away. Rock on.
Rock of Ages?
Yes. Hit it.
Find it. Feel free to talk.
Okay.
No, I'm too fascinated. I want to hear it very clearly when you find it.
Pyromania. Sorry.
Pyromania?
Yeah.
Not Rock of
No,
Ages?
it's Rock of Ages.
Oh, that's the album.
That's the album. Yeah. Pyromania.
Like the beginning?
Yeah. Very beginning.
It's loading.
It is.
Told you. I'm not some moron.
But it
here.
did. Then it goes different. Then it's different after
Yes.
that.
I didn't know they sampled that.
I didn't.
I didn't either. How interesting.
Ooh.
Learn something every day.
I was so nervous that cost me the game. I was
All
like,
right.
no, it's Def Leppard.
I would not have known that. Well, I didn't know that. I'm
Yeah.
the one who put the questions
You
together.
weren't a big Def Leppard guy?
Or an Offspring guy.
I wasn't a big Offspring guy, but I was a huge Def Leppard fan back in the 80s.
I was driving
but
yesterday.
only one fits the category, which
true.
is the word fly.
I know, like, top singles are usually not everyone's favorite songs from bands that they like.
Yeah.
You know, they get overplayed
Sure.
or too commercialized. Or whatever,
Sometimes they're the best.
but Pour Some Sugar on Me came on shuffle,
that song.
and
Oh, damn it.
I love the
Come
opening
on!
riff.
Come
The
on!
opening riff. I love it every time.
They have so many.
Oh,
So
of course
many
they
better
do.
songs.
And according
I'm not
to
saying it was
this,
their best song.
according to this, Gunter Gleben, Glauten Globen is just a nonsense phrase in German. Doesn't mean anything at all.
Save him saying that, please. For some reason, we call a German sex store or something. Gunter Gleben, Glauben, Globen.
Gunter Gleben, Glauben, Globen.
By the way, I hated that when I was a kid. I hate it now. It makes my skin crawl and makes my taint swell up.
Is it better if Ben does it?
It's better if Ben does it, for sure. For sure. So yeah, we will save that for some reason. I don't know. I don't know why. You never know. It's like a Swiss Army knife of drops, just in case we need Ben.
You know, Pauly has the most extensive archive and selection
Oh yeah.
on the planet of Ben drops. No one has
many to
more.
choose from.
That's a good point. Doomslayer says it's the same thing as Inagata Davida. It doesn't really mean anything, right? They just wrote it because it sounded cool or whatever.
Sometimes you need words that rhyme.
Gunter Gleben, Glauben, Globen.
God, I hated it. I hated it when I was a kid. I hate it now. It makes me it makes my skin crawl. Holy smokes. That was great. That was great. Thank you for playing. I haven't lost in a while. Feels good.
Yeah, you've been hot this month. We did have the qualifier from Real or Fake yesterday, but no one's won take on Woods or even tied this month. Some good news for the San Diego Padres. You saw it last night. Leodalis DeVries is up to the number 7 prospect in all of baseball, according to Baseball America's re-rankings. They did their first reevaluation after the first month of the minor league season. And
where did he start this season?
I think he was in the teens
Okay.
somewhere. So, this is a jump up into the top 10. And obviously the trend is outstanding for Leodalis DeVries and how he's been playing so far.
It's I don't follow it as much as I should, probably. There was that couple of week period where you couldn't log on to Twitter without seeing a Leodalis DeVries highlight. Has he cooled off immensely? I saw the jump up to number 7. Was that based on those 2 weeks, or is he still mashing? Is he still, doing his thing? I have no idea. I just haven't seen
he was the player of the month
in
the Midwest League. So that was based on the first month of the season, the re-rankings. What he's done in this last week. I haven't seen as many omnipresent Leo DeVries highlights as I did in the first month.
I haven't either.
Don't know if he's cooled off. I know defensively he still struggled a bit, made some good plays, has made a lot of errors. I don't think there's any discussion about bringing Leodalis DeVries, up to the big leagues anytime soon.
No.
Again, something they're looking towards the future, maybe next season at some point, and that would still be an aggressive timeline.
Good exercise here. Satan's Blowfish in the chat says, got to see if any of the guys we traded have made their way back onto the list, because I think when we started, there wasn't anybody on there. But, I think there's – I saw, I was watching the Marlins the other day. I saw Graham Pauley stride to the plate, and I went, oh, my God, I had forgotten about
watching the Marlins. I saw Lake Bacher going into pitch.
Oh,
you can't watch a Major League Baseball game without seeing an ex-Padres prospect going into the game. Whether they're making an impact, whether they would have ever made the big leagues with the Padres, I don't know. But there's a bunch of them that are at least in the big leagues right now. James Wood, of course, is
he's mashing.
He's mashing.
He's a star. He's going to be a star. So is Mackenzie Gore. David J. From Mad Friar says, yes, he's still leading the Midwest League in slugging. He said, have Clark back on to talk about it. Our buddy Clark Fahrenholt. We absolutely will do that. Probably maybe even next week. Get Clark back on. Get an update on what's going on in the minors for the San Diego Padres.
All right, we've got 1 hour to go here. Paulie will have some headlines with our Reindl Report all coming up. More looking ahead to the Padres Rockies series. Should Woods be as nervous as he is about the Padres taking on the Colorado Rockies? It is all ahead with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Robert Half. At Robert Half, they found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why their recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Interesting timing for that.
Just having a
So, yeah, we were
conversation.
talking during the break. We have a new in-house AI at Channel 10, EW Scripts, and I've been using it the past couple of days. Now, I'm still doing my job. I do my stories, on the Padres, on SDFC. I did a story on SDFC yesterday as well. And then after I write my story and I track it and edit it, there's always the web team wants a web version, which
Sure.
is different. You have to write it differently. And then you have to spend, I don't know, usually 15, 20, 25 minutes reformatting everything, taking the quotes and, putting them in actual quotation form, said SDFC coach Mikey Varas. And it's just kind of a slog because you've already done the story and now you need to do the web version of the story. Well, our new AI, all you have to do is copy the script that you wrote for TV
And it makes
it will rework it into something that you can easily post on our website, 10news.com. Takes about 60 seconds. It goes through it, and it pops it out. I proofread it, maybe make one or two quick changes, and I'm done in like 2 minutes. Save me 20 minutes of work that I had been doing every single day. To me, that's like a brilliant use of AI. It's not doing any work really for me that I haven't already done. I did the story. I wrote the script. I put it in. It just saved me a lot of busy work at the end of the day that now I no longer need to do. But you have some qualms and you have some difficulties with AI.
Yeah, I have. I have had a little bit of difficulty with it. I don't know enough about the ramifications of, the environmental concerns that I hear about a lot with it. I'm not in tune with it enough, but I do I do fear it a little bit more maybe than I should. I do. I think I fear music and art, literal art and books and things like that. Those things are so important to me that to replace it with a computer spitting out a song. I mean, music is pretty homogenized right now, but then again, pop music kind of always has been. Country music getting homogenized. I've always been of the opinion that, a great song, you need to have lived it, experienced it, great words written down by the human brain through the human hand. That's what's special to me. That's what's sacred to me about music and art, is that it comes from experience. And how do you replace the experience with a computer and not with what you do? I mean, you're writing a story. It's artistic and you have artistic license in it. I wouldn't consider you an artist for writing a story about SDFC.
Fair.
Right? That being said, does it make your life easier? Yeah, absolutely. And a little prompt like that you can put in and it formats it the right way. That is different to me than, hey, write a story for me about SDFC's Mikey Varas and the upcoming match, right? You're no longer doing your job. You're just a guy typing in a prompt.
And we're not going
All right,
to
give me a prompt for like our radio show.
We're not going to be using it that way. We're not going to say, hey, just write a story about this.
No.
Or find me a story about this. It's only to help refine what we've already done, the actual work that we've done. But the question is, and Paulie, if you want to, you put it into a prompt. Adam in the chat says AI was used at a radio station recently to replace the DJ. Will the technology get so good in 50 years, 25 years, 5 years that you could have an AI that we would simply craft a compelling 4-hour radio show that centers on the Padres, but also touches on weird and wacky things, that are going on in the world today? That's probably a decent one-sentence description of the Ben and Woods program. Could it do that in a few years where, you may not recognize the voices, but yeah, this is really, really entertaining. These guys are insightful. They're funny. They're engaging. Boy, they really know their craft well. Will the technology get to the point that we won't need to really do anything at all? And that is somewhat worrisome, yes.
It is. And there was I guess I can bring it up. There was a bit that they did on the Stern show recently about, and Paulie was like, hey, you have to go hear this. And I did. So they sent a couple of their guys, Ben, to to like a real doll factory, right? The doll that you use, but a bigger version of Delilah.
Hey there, Delilah.
And I listened to the bit and I laughed because it's funny, but I also went, oh my God, oh no. Think about my kids, my sons, ages 7 and 4. And I'm like, I hope that they want to have human interaction, and I get a little bit nervous, man. I think technology is a great thing. We'd be lost without it, certainly. But I'm kind of on the, now I'm not ready to move into a cabin and start, making my own butter and stuff. But I'm also kind of fighting the technology revolution a little bit because I do love art so much. It's so important to me. But I was listening to this segment. And man, what they're doing with these dolls and stuff, Ben, could absolutely replace the
Mark
the
Zuckerberg
human.
this week talking about AI friends. Like most people have 3 friends, but they want 15 friends. So you can create an AI. I don't know that is satisfying to a person. You're not getting enjoyment out of just having someone to talk to. You get enjoyment out of feeling like you have a genuine connection with a real person. And I don't think I'd ever have any true satisfaction with a fake relationship with a person, friend, or, romantic if I knew it wasn't a real person, right?
Yeah, man. It was funny, but it was also like, it had that feeling of like, ha ha ha, like kind of nervously laughing, going, oh man, as they're talking back to you, they're giving you feedback on what you're doing. I mean, it's pretty crass. It's about as crass of a segment as I've ever heard. But
careful of little ears.
Yeah, careful with little ears. It was eye-opening, man. It really was. And my wife uses it for real estate stuff. Great, man. If you guys can shave time off your day for stuff that you're already doing anyway, great. I mean, I think that's ultimately a good thing. Where it scares me is when it pertains to movies and TV shows and the arts and
the news,
right? Like all kinds of stuff. So I'm reluctant. When I hear an AI song or I don't want to see AI movies, and granted, you look at movies today, aren't they cooler and better than they were in 1970? Go try to watch a movie in 1975.
Movies. How about television?
Television, all of it. So yeah, man,
millions of times.
As
better.
it pertains to the radio, I did ask, will artificial intelligence ever be able to host a morning sports radio show for 4 hours to talk about the San Diego Padres and also entertain the listeners? And here's your answer.
Absolutely. AI will soon be able to host a 4-hour morning sports show, delivering Padres stats, hot takes, and even jokes with flair. But real entertainment? That still comes from the human spark AI might co-host, but it won't replace the soul of the show.
There you go.
I really couldn't listen to that guy's voice for longer than 10 seconds if I had to tune in. I just...
Suck it, Woods.
You know what, pal? I will beat your ass. No problem doing it. You're in a
No, I will beat your ass.
No, I will beat your ass.
No, I will beat your ass.
No, I will beat your ass. It's fighting with AI.
What does AI think about Rafael Devers' reluctancy to
You
move
got a
to
problem.
first base?
You've got a problem.
You got a problem.
See, he's missing all of the you've got a problem. Yeah, he's missing the intonations. How about Club Pilates? Just keep firing things in. Everyone says that AI sounds like Adam Klug. It
Club Pilates.
Yeah.
See, he says it right.
He knows. He's smarter than somebody.
About hot beef. I could do this all day, actually. No, I just,
Hot beef.
You're missing the point.
Yes. So I think that did sound like Adam. Now that I think about it,
Hit by a truck.
It kind of does, actually.
Hit by a truck.
Hit by a truck. How about loose cannabis?
We're just going through the chat with all your suggestions, right now.
Yeah. Perfect.
Loose cannabis.
Perfect co-host energy. Goodbye, Benjamin. Says Tyler. No, you can never be replaced.
Cannabis.
Yes, loose cannabis.
Ganja, aka cannabis.
Ganja, by the way.
Ganja.
Ooh, ganja. That's how the new Pope says it. Ooh, you like ganja? AKA cannabis?
Ooh, can I interest you in some
How
ganja?
about some loose cannabis? Ooh, how are you? Ooh, yeah.
Devil's cabbage.
So good.
Yeah,
So I guess
AI is crazy, man. Like I'm
reluctant
on the
man.
entry levels of all of it and trying to kind of avoid it. I was reading something from this guy a couple months ago who, like, back in the 80s and 90s, he like predicted the rise of like Microsoft and Apple. Like, he's very dialed in how technology can evolve and work. And he was saying how, like, by 2030, we can't even comprehend what our lives are going to look like.
I may be in that cabin in 2030, actually,
like
making my own butter.
Day-to-day work is going to be so easy that you're just going to be spending time with your family or something.
And guess
like,
what the boss is saying? Well, I'm paying you a quarter. Then if AI's doing your job, I'm going to pay you a quarter.
Like, robots already can, but will be able to do like surgeries because they can learn the processes so exponentially faster than humans.
Won't the bosses' jobs also be done more efficiently with AI as well? Who will be the bosses? The AI will be the bosses. The AI will be the employees.
I like this, man. We were trending in a weird
I am your
direction.
boss, Ben.
And we're all just sitting on the nude beach.
Fine by me.
All day long.
You are fired.
But I mean, again, like, you're using it at work. I think that's a good way to use it. You know, you're not using it to use it like a crib sheet.
No,
that's writing
not at all.
stories
No,
for
it's
you.
not. It's just to make your work a little more efficient and a little easier.
Man.
Now the big reveal.
The Dodgers.
That entire segment was created by AI. We're actually having breakfast this morning
Down
and
at the
not even in
cafe.
the studio anymore. No, we're still here live, and we are actually, I mean, could AI give away some Padres tickets like I'm about to do?
That's the stuff they could do.
Probably actually
they
could.
absolutely could give away.
We got one more pair of tickets to give away for next week's game on Wednesday. It is retro reversible bucket hat night at Petco Park on Wednesday, May 14th. Fifth caller right now at 833-288-0973.
Call us now for a pair of Padres tickets at 833-288-0973.
There it is.
You're right.
It's done.
Really don't need me anymore at
no,
all.
she's here
do
was
we?
that.
Get your own tickets at Padres.com/tickets or win them now. Padres Angels here at 97.3 The Fan. And we'll be back after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. I know AI never battles the bulge. Should always probably be the proper weight. I did battle the bulge a couple of years ago. Did not like what I saw in the mirror, so I got a call from one of actually my coworkers here and said, would you be willing to try the SDFatLoss.com program? I thought, well, what do I have to lose at this point? I am so glad that I went through the program. In 60 days, I lost 40 pounds. I feel so much better now. Lighter on my feet, back pain almost completely gone, knee pain gone, and I have more energy. I sleep better at night. Sleep apnea gone. I don't need to sleep with my my mask anymore and the hose. It's so much better. If you've got any of these issues and you would like to lose weight, please check it out today by going to sdfatloss.com and scheduling a free consultation. You'll talk to one of their great counselors. They will show you how the program works, how you can lose up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in 2 months with no drugs or injections and no need to take any prepackaged bars or shakes or mixes. Just real food, no exercise, and fast weight loss that is sustainable. I've kept the weight off now almost 2 years. Give it a try for yourself. Go online, sdfatloss.com, schedule your free consultation, and right now, get $200 off the program during their spring special here in the month of May. At sdfatloss.com, results may vary.
Why SD Fat Loss? Simply the best.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Well, you 7 years together.
It's unbelievable.
You never cease to amaze me. Never. You always amaze me. And I
don't know that it's amazing.
It's amazing.
I was simply
what he just said to us.
Well, I mean, we're now 2 months away, less than 2 months away.
Yep.
From our show trip to Philadelphia. Going to go watch the Padres play the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park, enjoy the city, eat some cheesesteaks, and some roast pork and other delectables from the city of Philadelphia. So I've been wanting to do some research about where we're going to find some of the best stuff while we're in Philly. So I've been on various tourist websites and apps to try to figure out what can we not miss while we're in Philly. And they're very comprehensive with their recommendations and suggestions. And I do it location based, where our hotel is, what are surrounding neighborhoods and blocks. And they're very thorough in their recommendations for whatever your interests may be. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they recommended while I was looking for, places to visit, places to eat, they also had suggestions if you wanted to visit an adult establishment while you were in Philadelphia.
Like a bar?
It's interesting because I've looked around for some stuff in Philly and I didn't get any of those recommendations.
Something along the lines of explicit, where we visited in Glendale when we were
Hey there, Delilah.
Well, it's funny that you should play that because the name of the place that came up was Delilah's.
There's no way.
In Philadelphia.
You got to be kidding.
No, it's called.
chance.
It is called Delilah's.
It's night one.
Which
I'm sorry,
I-
babe.
I-
If you're listening, I'm
obviously
sorry. It's night.
Piqued my interest just a
Of
little
course.
bit based
I'm
on
sure
the
it
name.
did.
Yes.
Hey there, Delilah.
Night one.
Oh my God.
We get in early that day.
Yeah, we get in at like 1 o'clock,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. So we'll have a nice dinner and then we'll, I guess, go check it out. What were you looking at? Like
Again, Philadelphia
Philly.com or something?
recommendations.
Yeah.
they
Don't you have to? Did it just give you a big map?
Yeah,
Little
just
pinpoints?
pinpoints of the places of interest, the Liberty Bell,
Does it know things that you're
Lincoln Financial Field,
Does it know things that you're?
the Reading Terminal Market, and Delilah's.
Does it know things that you're interested in and tailor
It could
to
be
you?
it could be AI
Could be AI
generated of things that they think you might be interested in. I don't know.
I feel like I'm going to gain 70 pounds on this trip. He's got us breakfast, lunch, and dinner locked in.
All 3
I
days.
mean, he's like 3 days, 9 meals. They're
Oh, yeah.
all going to be top notch.
Got Pennsylvania Dutch country breakfast. We got roast pork. We got cheese steaks. We got pretzels. They have soft baked pretzels like you wouldn't believe in Philadelphia.
Jeez, dude. I bet I've heard they got good steakhouses too.
They do?
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited. We're going to eat our way through Philly and definitely, go at least check it out. It's for the bit. That's what I'm going to tell my wife. Babe, it's for the bit. Clearly, we just got to get a picture in front of it. We may not even go in.
Probably
as
won't,
far as
I'm
you
sure.
know. As far as you know, we just took a picture out front.
Be a framed photo of Ben Higgins in there.
Delilah, so good. Well, and what was the rating on it?
There's 3 stars.
3 out of what? 5?
5, I believe.
Okay.
I usually like to go to at least 4-star establishments of any kind.
That's true.
But
I feel like you get more bang for your buck in a 3-star establishment. I do. Just based on
maybe less crowds. You
Yeah,
get
fewer-
more personalized
fewer people,
attention.
yeah,
It's
more
not,
attention.
not overly crowded. I mean, it's tough to get into any 5-star places because you gotta have reservations.
Yeah.
There's a long wait at the door.
big, big cover.
3-star place, you just
Kinda
walk right in. Yeah.
big bucket of beers or something, and have some fun.
I do not want a big bucket
You don't?
of beers.
Why not?
Just don't. I don't want a big bucket
He
of beers.
ordered when we went to Explicit. He ordered a martini, which was just because I think he thought he was going to be like James Bond.
A martini is a great order at a place that you're not sure of the quality because
Is it?
it's only one ingredient if you do a martini right. It's vodka.
You like
if
a vodka martini.
If you call your vodka, it's coming straight from the bottle. As long as they make it cold, you really can't mess it up. Throw a couple of olives in there.
You can't mess up a bucket of beers either.
Well, yeah, but it's not going to be good beer.
It's fair.
It's going to be bad beer.
Yeah,
But,
isn't it vodka and vermouth?
You can, if you want a dry martini, they don't even put vermouth in it.
And a real martini is gin. Yes?
Gin martini is the original, but I prefer a vodka martini.
So you just like cold vodka.
It's very cold
in that cool glass.
in the very cool glass.
That's
with,
why you
with
order
a couple
it.
of olives.
So you like it because of the glass.
Yeah,
They have that beer, Yingling.
Yingling.
Never had
It's-
it before.
Yeah, it's spelled with a U, but
Why?
well, Y-U, but it's
Y-U.
pronounced Yingling.
Yingling.
That actually is decent. I've had a couple of Yinglings when I've been in Pennsylvania before.
Save him saying I've had a couple of Yinglings for some reason. We might need that.
But yeah, usually my vodka of choice. I don't mind Tito's, but I like Kettle One.
Save that.
And off we go.
And off we go.
Round
We're ready to
7,
go.
round 6. Things Ben likes.
We should definitely replay that at the end of the show. We had if you missed it, we had a new installment of Things Ben Likes on the program today.
We'll do a traditional Friday finish to the Ben and Woods program
That's right.
with the new Pauly crafted version of Things Ben Likes.
All right, good.
All right, quickly here before we get to the Reindl Report. Again, Padres opening up their series in Colorado after a day off. The one thing, I know you're worried, and I've been trying to calm everybody down that you're never going to have a better situation going into Coors Field. The Padres are 10 games above 500. The Rockies are 25 games under 500. They are 17 and a half games out of 4th place, I believe, or 3rd place, or whatever, just a month into the season. This is historically bad for the Rockies right now. They had to play a doubleheader yesterday. They lost that doubleheader by 18 runs combined. They are at the low point. My only worry would be when you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up. And I've got to imagine that's kind of the feeling like, hey, just go out there and be loose. I mean, things can't get any worse than they are right now. So, hey, go out and if I'm Bud Black, I'm saying, go out and just have some fun tonight. Just let it come to you. Don't worry about it. We're probably not going to win this game, but who knows? Just go ahead and swing hard and, maybe it's Coors Field. You make some contact and things happen for you in a game tonight. That's my biggest worry against the Rockies in this game.
Not a lot of matchup information on their side. Not a lot of guys have faced Randy Vasquez. Brenton Doyle's had 4 ABs. Ryan McMahon's had 6. But on the other side, Luis Ariz has hit Senzatella really well. Senzatella's 1-5 with a 5.50 ERA,
which makes him maybe one of their best starters.
Correct. Yeah, Jason Hayward actually has had some luck against Senzatella as well, as has Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. at 15 at bats, hitting 267. But yeah, I mean, look, this is we are clearly the far superior team. You just got to handle business. It's stupid baseball. Anything can happen, and especially at that place, which, as you mentioned way early in the show, the San Diego Padres have a 390 winning percentage at Petco Park. That's
Coors Field.
I'm sorry, God, at Coors Field. That is atrocious. That's an atrocious winning percentage at that place. They've never played well there. I expect them.
Even Mike Schultz struggled there last year.
Yeah,
so
it's it just for whatever reason, it's just got that House of Horrors feel. Weird stuff happens, bad things happen there, and just want to get out of there.
Some good things have happened. Jeff Sanders wrote, some of the great accomplishments. First two cycles in Padres history happened at Coors Field. Offensively, good things happen. Jake Cronenworth, who is expected back tonight, has a career OPS of over 1,000 at Coors Field. He loves hitting there, but a lot of guys love hitting there. It's really the pitchers that you worry most about when you go to Denver.
Yeah, listen, we get first licks tonight. Throw 5 or 6 up because you may need a few of those innings at Coors Field. Watch it be like a 1-0 pitcher's duel, which will make me. It will age me.
No, I don't. I do not. I do not want to see that tonight.
I don't either.
Definitely love to see some early offense and at least have 1 or 2 comfortable wins. You know that at some point it's going to get dicey. There's going to be a game, even if they win all 3. It's going to be a game where you have to pull it out, or it's close right until the end. You're going to need to strike someone out with runners on base. You don't sweep a series generally and win every game by 9 runs. So there's going to be a dicey moment this weekend. Brace yourself for it.
Strap in, buddy. Nick in the chat says he moved to Colorado last September. He gets to see the Padres again in person this weekend. Congrats, Nick. Does feel good to go root on your team.
Got your own section to yourself, probably.
And I'm not being a jerk here, but there will be a ton of Padres fans there. It will. If you could hear the Padres fans in New York at Yankee Stadium, you're damn well going to hear them in Colorado. So get out there and make some noise tonight. Root on the boys. We'll be watching from home, and we need to win this one tonight.
All right, Paulie, Reindl Report coming up next.
Yeah.
All right. That's your tease for the Reindl Report. It is, in fact, coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
First, gang, let me tell you about the fun times that I'm having over using Underdog. You guys know how daily fantasy works, I'm sure. All you have to do is pick whether players will go higher or lower on their stats. Things like points, assists, rebounds. If you're playing the playoffs right now in NBA basketball, it's been pretty wild. It has been pretty wild. Underdog, the leading place to make all your sports picks. Now you can play it right here in our wonderful state. Just download the app, choose whether a player, again, will go higher or lower on those stats. Very, very simple to do. Once your picks are locked in, you feel good about them, you can play with as little as $1. If you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. So have some fun with it. Download the Underdog app, sign up with the promo code WOODS. You'll unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code WOODS. Got to be 18 and over, 19 and over in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and over in Colorado for some games, 21 and over in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. And in New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
It's been a little loose Friday.
Like loose Fridays.
Not loose cannabis version.
Loose
cannabis?
Loose Fridays.
It's a
My
loose
favorite.
Loose Friday. No game yesterday to really break down. Actually, kind of. I know the NBA playoffs are on. There was just one game last night. It wasn't particularly entertaining either. Ant Edwards stepped on someone's foot and twisted his ankle, but came back into the game. Without Steph Curry, the Warriors didn't quite match up. So we've kept it loose today. I'm sure there's some stuff we've missed, though. Paulie's going to have his Reindl Report headlines. We'll get to those after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The
From the
Fan.
855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
The freeways are clearing up nicely all around the county. It's the Coronado Bridge. It's kind of troubled right now. Some slowing toward this stalled pickup truck heading off the island right before the 5. It's got the right lane blocked. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul. All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
Alrighty.
Happy Friday, gentlemen. We will start off in college football. There's been so many developments on this story just today, but there was a report that came out that Bill Belichick's girlfriend, it's the story that'll never go away.
It's never going to die.
Jordan Hudson is now banned from UNC's football facility.
Come on.
Former ESPN personality, I think he does just his YouTube show now, Pablo Torre.
Yep.
He got this information and ran with it. And he said, one Belichick family source adds there is deep worry for how detrimental Jordan can be for not just North Carolina, but Bill's legacy, reputation, everything he has built and worked for over decades. And then recently, Brian Murphy, who works as a sports journalist for WRAL, I'm going to just assume that's Raleigh.
Correct.
WRAL. He says that UNC denies Pablo's report that Jordan Hudson is banned from football facilities. That's getting headlines, but Torrey's podcast goes much deeper than that. Statement also says Hudson will manage all activities related to Belichick's personal brand. So the school is denying.
Yeah, they issued a statement to refute the Pablo Torre
That's
podcast.
kind of a ballsy thing to run with, no?
So it bothers
Yeah.
me when use some common sense here, Pablo. And Pablo's usually pretty good, but who's in charge at North Carolina?
Bill Belichick.
Obviously.
Right.
You don't hire Bill Belichick and no one, I know there's an athletic director, there's a school president. Ultimately, if they wanted to fire Bill Belichick, they could. Until that day, what Bill Belichick says goes with the football program. Who has access, who doesn't. They're not stepping in and telling Bill Belichick in his first season who can and who cannot visit the facility. There's absolutely no chance that is happening. I mean, it doesn't even make sense.
Pablo just came out apparently and said he stands by his report. I mean, again, you can get a report.
Could there be some uneasiness among the athletic director and the president? Like, I wish Bill wouldn't have her around so much. Will any of them actually like issue a ruling you can't bring her here? No, because they can't.
I don't think so either.
This story, like I said, this story has been developing like in real time this morning, and like 30 minutes ago, Pablo posted on X, we broke the news of an important meeting where UNC higher ups told the football program that Jordan Hudson cannot be around the facility anymore. Many people around the team heard that message very clearly. You can decide who to trust in terms of how the PR spin goes from here.
Bill Belichick doesn't need this job.
He really doesn't.
North Carolina thinks they need Bill Belichick to make a splash, to win some games, to maybe get to a college football playoff. Now, whether he will or not, certainly a source of debate, but they need him more than he needs them, and he calls the shots while he's there. And that's how I read it.
And in regards to his legacy, it's fine. This does absolutely nothing to ruin this man's legacy. Nothing. In my opinion, nothing. I mean, you can question him all you want, say, I don't like this, or I don't believe in it, and it's whatever you may think, but you're not taking away the career he's had.
If Pablo Torre reported that she's been banned and North Carolina has issued a statement saying that's not true, how do you stand by your reporting? They've just refuted you directly.
Man, if we ran with every single thing we heard, I think we'd be out of a job.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly. And there may be truth to some of the things that we've heard over the years. And you just can't run with stuff like that. Everything is so sensationalist right now. And, what's the consequences for Pablo Torre on his podcast?
Maybe he doesn't get a credential to UNC football.
Did he have one? Yeah. Did he have one?
If he was
did he
planning
care?
on going,
right. Like, what are the consequences for Pablo Torre? Hey, man, because I'm not saying he didn't hear something. I'm not saying that at all. But to run with it, I feel is maybe a little irresponsible.
He says they can choose to describe or change their position on Jordan Hudson's involvement however they wish. Following the publication of our episode, we requested comment, filed dozens of FOIA, Freedom of Information Act requests that were not satisfied, and we stand by the specific reporting in our episode, which came from the highest levels of the football program. Not the highest levels, because the highest level of the football program is Bill Belichick.
Pretty much. He's going to be the guy that makes the decision. So, yeah, I get the sense that if he wants her around, she's going to be around.
But Bill Belichick is the one who's orchestrating this all, like, telling her, oh, no, you're completely welcome. She's not really welcome.
Bill, blink twice.
Yeah. It's really it's taken a weird turn.
Yes.
Several weird turns. Starting with the mermaid pictures on the beach, I thought was kind of where he's holding her up on his feet.
Impressive, though, that he balanced her like that.
It is. I thought we could recreate them, but I forgot. Who would have balanced who?
Well, I don't think it would have gone well for either one of us.
You think?
I don't have the agility to balance you, but I don't know that you would have the full strength to balance me. I'm still, even after SDFatLoss.com, still a big guy.
There's only one way to find out.
AI.
No, not AI.
Chat GPT.
Nope.
All right, that's it for sports. Let's see here. There was a story a few days ago of a 55-year-old woman in Akron, Ohio. This fell under the stupid criminal category. She was arrested for an outstanding warrant, driving on a suspended license, and that's the least of the worries here in this story. This story made the news because her passenger was a raccoon, her pet raccoon. And while she was pulled over for the suspended license, she was arrested for drug possession because the raccoon pulled out a meth pipe and tried to smoke it in the front seat while the cop was like, license and registration, please. This car looked like it had seen better days. There was garbage everywhere.
You're not kidding.
Sir, you have dark circles under your eyes. Is everything okay? No,
there's video.
This is how I look.
I didn't have time
It's
to
not
pull
my meth pipe. That's my raccoon.
It's my raccoon.
You have to go and find the video. The cop can't stop laughing. The body cam footage, he's laughing hysterically. He's arresting her, and he looks back in the car, and he sees the raccoon, whose name is Chewy, just sitting in the driver's seat, holding a meth pipe up to its mouth.
Well, I think animals can get addicted to drugs just as easily as
So,
people can.
If you're the cop, of course, you want to save the animal too. You get that meth pipe away from him.
Yeah.
So the cop took the meth pipe. Raccoon went down and found another one
in the car.
A second.
So
pipe.
the first one was confiscated, and he went to his backup pipe.
Do you see the raccoon holding the
Yes.
methamphetamine pipe?
Extremely clearly. Yeah. It's wild. They found 3 pipes, a small amount of crack cocaine, and 7 grams of meth. She's facing charges for felony drug possession.
It
Chewy's
wasn't
fine.
mine. I just told you. It's my raccoon's stash.
I don't know where he got it.
No idea. He has a problem. I'm not going to rake this guy over the coals.
He runs with a very shady crowd.
It's a disease. It's a disease at the end of the day.
I'm actually driving him to Meth Anonymous now.
I'm dropping him off. He's going to rehab right now. Raccoon rehab. That is where was this at?
It was in Akron, Ohio.
Ohio.
And my final story takes us to Chicago, and I find this whole idea to be fascinating because I don't know much about it, but there is a story out of Chicago where a man who owned a home discovered that squatters were living in his home. He's trying to sell the home, and he showed up with his realtor and a potential buyer and realized, oh, there's people living here, and they've been living here. And he didn't know what to do. He could not get them out because squatters' rights is a real thing.
Yeah, big time.
So rather than continuing to try to see how to get them out of this man's home, he decided, I'm just going to move in with them.
Into my
and
own
I've got
home.
new roommates now.
Yeah, into my own house.
Yeah.
He leaned into it and just accepted it. He said, no problem. This is what we're doing. I'm going to move back into my home, and you guys are here.
Like Nick Saban in his Airbnb
that's
Verbo
right.
ads.
That's right.
I like those.
He says he called the police. They told him under Illinois current law, they could not remove anyone from the house.
That makes no sense.
And so he told the police.
What is trespassing if it's not that?
So he told police, I'm not leaving. So I called a couple of friends. We stayed overnight, and I knew they were not going to like that.
Yeah.
They literally just camped out in the living room. The owner of the home just sat in the living room with his friends and watched the door because the squatters were all living in one of the bedrooms.
That is,
and they stayed a whole night with them.
I do not understand squatters' rights. In my opinion, you have no rights if you're a squatter. None.
It says here they were
zero.
Quote, they were like, we want $8,000 of what we paid so that we can leave your property. He said they negotiated. He had them sign a cash for key agreement and paid them $4,300 to leave.
Ooh.
And I saw a story about this happening locally here earlier in the week.
One
and
of our local news girls. It's happening.
What are squatters' rights, and how did this ever become a thing?
She said it has cost her to this point $40,000, and legally trying to get somebody out that paid the first month rent and did not pay again. And I think that is absolutely repulsive, man.
I agree.
Repulsive.
I think this is something that we should all agree on.
Look, man, I have a heart for human suffering.
I do think there have been landlords who have also abused their landlording, trying to kick people out without enough warning to find somewhere else to live, which then probably the pendulum swung too far. So we got to protect these people. He told him he had to be out in 5 days, and they didn't have anywhere else to live, and he had been paid up to his rent at that point, and you can't just kick someone out of their home. But then it became too far on the other way.
But the people that just find a house that's empty, break in, and they're like, "Sorry, buddy, I got rights. I can live here now." That's next level. That's next level stuff.
It should be much faster to at least be able to prove, yes, I own this house. They are not supposed to be here.
Correct.
But, when a police officer shows up, they can't know for certain,
right.
You're the homeowner and you're the squatter. And what are you supposed to do? Just take one person's word for it. So you do have to have a process, obviously.
That's terrible, dude.
But it should be a much more efficient process, clearly. Oh, there's the raccoon. Finally.
On our YouTube stream, you can see the raccoon hanging out.
Oh, it's sad that he got to that.
All right.
Put on he's pretty heavy for a meth addict.
It's true. Well fed.
Well, that doesn't
You can
exist.
see the cop is holding one pipe in his hand in the left, and the raccoon's got another one.
Yeah.
Trying to smoke, literally trying to smoke it.
That car looks like it got hit by a train. It's missing the
hit by a train.
Hit by a truck. It's missing like the
Hit
inner
by a
door.
truck.
There's netting on the window like it's a NASCAR. What in the world, dude? I'm glad she's off the streets, bro. That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Paul, you did a lot of work putting together a new edition of Things Ben Likes. It is Friday. We used to end every Friday either with flubs or Thing Ben Likes. I haven't done so much this year, but why not today in honor of Paulie's new edition of it. I like the idea of the fast offense. I like a good Oktoberfest.
I bet you do.
I like eating a lot. I like all the matchups, though, for the series, Woods. I like the word ambiance as well. I do like the hotel rooms that have a nice big tub. I like the Padres' chances in all those games. I like a mini donut, too. I like Stephen A. I like oysters.
Yes.
I saw a quote from Erik Greupner that I actually liked. I like our chances. I mean, I like beef jerky. I like sitting. I like meals out. I like the Royals with Seth Lugo. I like a tangier burger. I like booths. I like the idea of knowing like the checks will be coming. I like a good artichoke dip.
I like living in San Diego way more than I would like living in Los Angeles. He's been on our show before. I like Jake. I like playing golden tea. I like tomato soup. I like to mix up the difficulty level from time to time.
Yep.
I do actually like buffalo cauliflower. I do like to be right. I like
Yes.
the players they had this year.
I like the consistency. I like hamachi.
I do like to make a salient point.
I like his at-bats. Little cranberry juice cocktail. I like that. I like to eat.
I do like walking.
I liked his approach. Attack something quickly. Go the other way. I like the clinking of the chips. I like that game yesterday. Again, I just really like the smaller school feel. I like those books, and I like that movie. I like having Nick Pivetta on the mound. I like to try the different items. I like a big old English D. I like some of the swings that he takes. I like to walk. I really do. I actually like him in this spot today. I like Yakitori. I'd like the Padres to be in that situation. And I like that Mike Schilt is the guy. This is a little bit silly, but I liked it.
Incredible.
It is a little bit silly, but
And,
somehow we do all like it.
For anyone wondering, we have already began
Yeah.
the search for another 40 to 50 Things Ben Likes for part 6.
Part 6.
I usually like to go to at least 4-star establishments of any kind. I like Kettle One. Well on our way. Well on our way.
Brilliant.
We would be remiss if we did not mention in an entire 4-hour program on May 9th. Happy birthday. Tony Gwynn would have been 65 years old. There's
Yeah,
the
buddy.
laugh. I love that. Thoughts with Tony Jr. and his family today. Such a beautiful scene when all the grandkids, all
Oh, I
Tony's
loved
kids threw out
it.
the first ball
Yeah.
on Tony rookie bobblehead night was really cool. Hard to believe. Should still be here today. Should be with us. Very sad. Cancer. I'm glad they're raising some money to fight it tonight at the Elton John concert. Hopefully we can maybe AI can figure out a way to get rid of cancer, and that would be nice. But
yeah, man, and you know, I always think about Tony Jr. Obviously, on a day like today, can't be an easy one for him. He's got to go work a baseball game, but he's working a San Diego Padres game, which is pretty incredible. And you know, listen, let's go win on Tony Gwynn's birthday. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
And then, you know, you'll be on your way to the 3-game sweep that we hope we will be talking about on Monday morning when we rejoin you at 6 a.m. And if we are not, we're going to be somewhat disappointed. Even with a 2 out of 3, even with a 6-3 road trip, there's going to be a tinge
Most
of
nervous I've
disappointment.
been for a Monday
I
show
know.
ever,
And it's
man.
hard. It's hard to sweep a series on the road, even at Coors Field.
Yep.
That's what you're looking for this weekend. Starts tonight, 5:40. First pitch, 4:40. Eco Water SoCal pregame show with Sammy Lenevitt. First, though, Braden's got you for the next 4 hours. We are done, though. For executive producer Paul Reindl and Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great weekend from all of us here at 97.3 The Fan. So long.